Tell me when we're up.
We're up.
I gotta post it on Twitter.
So Tom, I went to the doctor.
What were we talking about before we started?
We're talking about like rappers killing each other.
Yeah,
and
I don't want to stop the subject real quick because when that happened when the '90s, when they started fucking shooting at each other and coming out with gangster rap, there had never been anything like that. Could you imagine if, like the Beach Boys, and they fucking hated Elvis, they want to shoot him,
Fuck you, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
taking off bitches, and it was the first time where guys were ever able to brag about everything, about their money, about their sexual conquest,
Right.
It's like there'd never been, like Eddie Bravo was talking about that song the other day. She swallowed it. It's not a good song.
Swallowed it.
I mean, I don't like it. It's okay.
MC Ren had a decent verse on that.
Yes, MC Ren. MC Ren was amazing. What happened to that guy?
He's still
I have
around.
no idea.
Is he?
Yeah, I think he's. They're working on the new NWA movie right now.
A movie?
Yeah, they're redoing the whole NWA. They're doing an NWA movie and using like family members.
Who's gonna play AIDS? Have they cast that yet? Have they cast that part?
Yeah.
Oh, Tommy with the fucking zinger. Who's gonna play AIDS? Oh shit! No, you didn't.
I think it was Morgan Freeman was left.
Morgan Freeman's gonna play AIDS.
That's fucking incredible.
Jesus
He's
Christ!
just like, give me that perm that he had, and I can nail this shit.
Do you think Jerry Curl will ever come back? I hope
Never.
not.
It's done.
It's
It's too
totally
much
completely
work,
done.
man. Too much
Cube
work.
had the fuck. He was like a poster child for the Jerry curl.
Yeah.
Ice Cube had a really fucking nice Jerry curl.
It was good.
If you're gonna get a Jerry curl, that's how you should take
Ice
that picture
Cube?
into your salon and say, "Make me look like this."
Was it
That was
Chris
ideal.
Rock's movie? What was the movie where they made fun of CB4 where they sprayed Jerry Curl juice in their hair all the time?
Yeah.
What was Jerry Curl juice? What is it? Just oil?
It was oil. But what was that? Coming to America? What was that?
Soul Glow,
Soul
man.
Glow.
Yeah.
Remember? And like he would like
Soul Glow.
and he would get off the chair and there's like a stain on that. On that chair.
Well, that's got to be true, right?
Yeah.
How did that ever become popular?
Just look at hairstyles, man. Hairstyles are insane.
But that's one of the weirdest ones ever. You had to put all that shit in your hair and make it greasy and drippy.
Yeah.
What the fuck? It ruins your
Black people
clothes.
had the afro. Like that was like a style, like a statement.
Yeah.
Right. Then remember fades and high top fade.
They can get away with anything.
I remember when I was a kid.
Even black girls, they have straight hair. They have white girls' hair. And you're like, how'd you get that? Shut up.
Oh, yeah. I know.
Black
Getting
dudes
a
can't
wig.
pull that off.
You know what I was really jealous of in like middle school and high school was when black guys had like designs in their hair.
Yeah.
Like they would have like,
yeah.
like they had like lines and shit would be written
Lightning
out.
bolts and shit.
Yeah, and I'd be like,
Yeah.
I want to do that. And like, you cannot. You will look like a fucking asshole.
There's a fighter who is a black guy from some K1 guy, but he carves like designs, like tribal designs in his hair before he
cool,
fights.
man. Yeah.
It looks badass.
And you can get, that's the thing. You get away with it.
But do you think a black guy could get away with wearing like a white guy's hair, like a black girl does? No.
Oh no,
No.
no, that's
Can you
hilarious.
imagine
That'd be
if
weird.
black dudes, if that was the next thing, they all started having Bon Jovi hair.
Yeah. Oh no.
They
dude.
just all had Bon Jovi hair weaves.
Or what if it was just like parted? Like what if they just parted it like a good boy? And just combed it
Yeah,
over.
like Ted
what's up,
Haggard.
man? Yeah.
Yeah.
Just were like cool about it. And you're supposed to be like, what's going on?
Yeah,
Like,
that
this-
would be
this was
so strange.
$4,000, man.
Isn't it strange though what becomes popular and not popular? You know, like girls are allowed to have everything can be fake. You can have fake tits. You can
Yeah.
have fake hair. Nobody gives a shit. As long as you look good, you look good.
Yeah.
Good. Okay, let's go. You know, no guy is like really. Well, I mean, guys are. Don't get me wrong, but it's acceptable for you to be pretty
my
inauthentic.
God. We are held to such a lower standard. You know the thing that we get like for most guys, like if you bathe, you shower, you bathe regularly, and you basically change clothes. That's considered like take care of yourself.
You don't have to wear makeup.
You don't do anything.
Isn't it? Could you imagine though if you found out a dude was wearing blue contacts? Girls would be like, "What the fuck is wrong with this guy?"
I almost bought some fake contacts the other day just because I was that stoned, but it wasn't blue. It was the ones where you can. There's like ones you can get like cat eyes. You can get like completely black, and I just want to have a pair for no reason at all.
Do you remember Michael Jackson's Thriller when he had those?
Oh yeah, the
first
cat
time?
eyes.
Yeah, the cat eyes.
Dude, they have those, and they're I guess they're pretty cheap. They were like $89, and you just put them in your eye.
Oh, that's
Wasn't
right.
that like the end of the movie? He looks up
Thriller.
and he's got the
At the
cat
end of
eyes.
the Thriller.
Thriller, yeah.
Yeah, he turns back and then the left.
Dude, that was a fucking
Creatures
what a great music video that was.
That was
That's amazing.
that was an actual event. That was like a world news event.
Oh yeah,
I
it was
remember
a world
that.
event.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was huge.
That's when we had far less channels too. I can't imagine what the numbers were on just that video. They must be astronomical.
Yeah, they must have been through
I
the
think
fucking
it's
roof.
13 minutes, and that was like
That was so cool as a
was
kid
a
too.
whole
such
like
a
seeing
whole
that.
Yeah,
premiere.
and for me, it was a werewolf, so I was even more excited.
Yeah,
and a
yeah.
cool one. That was Rick Baker that did that, I believe. I believe it was the same guy that
Oh,
did
the monster
American
guy.
Werewolf in
Yeah.
London. He did a
And
lot of
the,
the Star Wars shit.
The
Yeah.
coordinated dancing.
Yeah.
All the dancing was cool as shit.
What was that? What was the message behind that? You know, what a weird fucking video and
Yeah.
movie. I remember people were saying it was satanic. I remember that there was a bunch of protests about it.
Oh, yeah.
People were upset. What a fucking fascinating
Which is
guy.
the best thing ever when you get controversy like that. When someone says this might be satanic, that was when they were like, guys, fucking yes.
Yeah, Michael Jackson and Whitney Houston, probably the two most talented people that died, and everybody saw it coming.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When
Yeah.
we talk about like really uniquely talented people that everybody's like, man, you know, how long is this going to last?
Yeah.
How long can you? Do you remember that the Bobby Brown show, Being Bobby Brown?
Yeah.
When they were on the show screaming and yelling at each other.
Oh my god! I remember when they talked. They were at a dinner. Fucked up. They were fucked up on that
Fucked
show.
up.
Not like buzzing, like fucking wrecked.
Screaming at each other.
And they were at a hotel, and they had ordered like a feast. And like, I mean, it was crazy.
Yeah.
Like how much food was on this table, and they were both just fucking completely out of their minds.
Obliterated.
And laughing, and then I forget who said like, remember when I was taking that shit, and you had to come
Yeah.
over and help me pull it out my ass, and it was like, yeah, I think it was that he was
What?
saying that one time she had a shit stuck inside of her, and he reached up in there and he's like, I pulled that dookie out, and she was like, I gotta take a dump right now. I'm gonna drop it on the one. Like that was the scene you were like,
I'm gonna drop it on the one.
Yes, dude, yes. I'm gonna drop
Isn't
it on
that
the one.
funny? How will I know? Don't trust your feeling. How will I know? And that shit,
That is
come
the
pull the
shit.
shit out of my ass.
Yeah.
Wow.
Remember when I was taking a dump? You put your hand in my ass? And you're like, uh-huh.
Do you remember when they interviewed her? There was an interview where the guy was trying to get to what the fuck was up. And he's like,
Yeah.
is it cocaine? Is it
going on?
alcohol? And she's like, at times. At times, all of them. Like at times, all of them. And he's like, you know, have you ever smoked crack? And she was like, crack is whack.
Crack is, yeah,
She
yeah.
said crack is
Yeah,
whack.
crack. I think that was to Diane Sawyer that she said that.
Yeah, and
Crack is
he also
whack.
said it's rumored that you spent $750,000 1 year on drugs. And she said, oh, I wish. She said, I wish. As if like
I'd
anybody
still be on that ship right now.
Yeah, you kidding me? Shit, that'd be a good year.
Jesus Christ.
Could you imagine? But it was
750
it was the
grand.
strangest interview, man, to listen to a person who, you know, when you grew up, you know, The Bodyguard. Remember her with Kevin Costner?
Dude, she was such a talent. And
Such a talent, such a superstar.
oh, amazing. If you watch like How Will I Know?
Yeah.
Like the video, I mean, you see she's so beautiful.
Have you ever heard when they
glowing.
isolate her lyrics?
No. It's got
Dude.
Yeah, her voice
See,
is
I don't know if you can play that. I would think we could play that.
Probably not.
Isolate it?
Probably
Not
not.
at all?
Probably not.
Not like give it like a little sample of it or something?
I don't know.
Let's try.
her range, the range in her voice.
It's just ridiculous.
The notes
It's
she
really
hit.
stunning to listen to.
Yeah.
It's just look up How Will I Know Whitney Houston isolated lyrics.
Love it.
Use two hands, you freak. Typing with one hand. I don't know what the fuck you're doing. Look at that. Shit's taking forever. There's a bunch of chicken scratch on that screen. Brian's going to confuse the fuck out of people. Is there a way to take that video off your Ustream and put it on mine?
I don't know. I could find out, but you definitely
You do
be
it
on
on
Vimeo,
right?
yeah.
People are mad at you, Brian. This is another O'Brien moment.
Oh,
They get excited.
Brian.
People like it when you fuck up. Do you notice that?
Yeah. They love it.
What is that about?
Makes it seem more real. It's not edited and it's raw.
Yeah, people like a little conflict. There's a dude who just sent me 19 tell Brian to shut the fuck ups in a row. Okay, that guy's blocked.
Oh shit, kid.
Silly bitch.
It didn't come up. Wait, here's one.
It's a strange thing to listen to, man, because you know there's not. You can give me a million years with all the coaches in the world.
They listen to that.
Here we
Yeah,
go.
listen to this shit.
I know he's the one I dream of. Looks into my eyes, takes me to the clouds above. Oh, I lose control, can't seem to get enough.
God damn, she was good.
Yeah,
Wow.
she was.
Fuck. That's just a that's a once in a lifetime
Yeah.
voice, man.
That
That's
is-
just a perfect voice.
Yeah.
She had the perfect voice.
It's like
that
listening-
Bodyguard days. She
Oh,
was hot as fuck.
Hot as fuck.
Oh, man.
And that was the first time
Thunder.
ever there was a hot girl that a hot man was falling in love with.
Yeah.
You know? That she's black.
Yeah.
And they did a major movie about it. Have they ever done that before where the hot black girl and the man get together?
Man. Now
Nobody barely even complained.
Now
Even the
that's not
racists.
the main storyline, you know?
Yeah.
Like that would have to be the storyline.
Yeah. She was
But-
such a fucking gigantic
That
star
voice
as a
is-
singer that they were like, let's make a movie with you.
Come.
I can't act. Who cares?
Yeah.
Just fucking, we'll roll the camera. Say whatever you want.
Yeah.
We'll tie it all together. You're working with Kevin Costner. He'll carry you along. She could act too. Acting
Yeah.
is easy as fuck, man. Acting ain't shit. I mean, there's high level acting, obviously, that none of us can do. But the regular acting, like The Bodyguard, yeah, you could do that. Anybody
Yeah,
could do
you
that.
can
But
find
it's
that shit.
hard, man.
What'd you say?
Yeah.
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 They're like, here's 8 million.
My buddy Mike Starr was in that movie too. He got beat up by Kevin Costner.
Oh, really?
Really?
Yeah, my buddy Mike Starr. We did a TV show a long time ago called Hardball together. It was a stupid baseball show that.
Yeah.
It's a terrible show, but it was. I made a bunch of good friends. Mike Starr was one of them. He got beat up in a bunch of movies. He got beat up in a Steven Seagal movie. Got real mad at Steven Seagal. Steven Seagal was hitting him really hard.
Really?
Yeah. He had to wound up actually having to put like a chest protector on because the guy was not really supposed to hit him. You know, it was supposed to like fake hit him. It's for a fucking movie. You know, you're in
Yeah.
a scene. And Steven Seagal would just light his chest up, bam! Hit him with that fucking Wing Chun punch in the
I bet
middle
you
of his
can't
chest.
say shit to Steve really either.
Well, he just does it, man. He was
Yeah.
known for doing that. You know, well, he's trying to make a fucking badass movie,
Right.
And unfortunately, when you're trying to make a badass movie, sometimes you got to sacrifice.
Yeah. I'm going to kick you in the chest right now, man.
Get a
Yeah.
fucking stomp dudes on occasion. That's
Sorry.
what he. I mean, that was his
Welcome
attitude.
to hell.
I don't know.
He probably had a line after he kicked the shit out of him too, which made it so much worse. Like you get kicked and then he's like, "That's what time it is." Turns around or some shit.
That's
You're
what
like-
time it
you're
is.
like, motherfucker.
What? How did that happen? Like the guy that was in the movie that always has like the witty one-liner after he kicks you in the balls.
I don't know, man. That became. I mean, I think that became huge through Clint Eastwood. I think he'd be the guy. I mean, you know what I mean? Where it
Yeah.
has like where the badass thing happens.
Yeah.
And then you go in on close, you push in on the badass's face, and he's like, "Ask your mother what she thinks," or whatever the fuck he says.
The Clint Eastwood Every Which Way But Loose movies were the first time that they really like combined like action and comedy together with a dude who wasn't a comedy guy,
Right.
But it worked.
It works, man. It works if you
that
play
worked
it
great.
real. You know, that's
Yeah.
why.
Philo
He didn't try to
Beto.
be funny.
Fucking Clint, dude, come on, man. Every Which Way But Loose was awesome, and that was back when Clint Eastwood was stuck with that one chick. What was her name? Sandra Locke.
I don't remember.
He did a million movies with this freak.
Yeah.
I guess, that was just his girl, and they did a bunch of movies together. But as soon as they broke up, man, shit got ugly.
Really?
Yeah, he got her like some development deal to get her to fuck away from him, and and she accused him of blocking every one of her projects. Nobody wanted to do anything with her.
I wouldn't fuck with Clint, man.
She was suing the shit out of him. It was just gross, man. It was just when people like divorce and they do it publicly like
That's-
that.
yeah, it's terrible.
You like lose so much respect for the more vocal member of the two.
Yeah.
And that was one of the cases with the thing with her. I automatically assumed, well, this bitch is crazy. Look at her go.
Yeah.
And she never really worked again. Sandra Locke disappeared. She was in a ton of movies with Clint Eastwood. But that was about it. After that, and she thought it was because he blackballed her. But most people, I think a lot of it was probably because people thought she was gross.
Probably.
Like, ew, what are you doing to Clint?
Yeah. Everybody.
Clint
loves
Eastwood,
Clint,
man.
That's,
You can't fuck over
That's movie royalty.
good, the bad, and the ugly. Come on. You leave him alone. What'd you do?
Can you imagine the stories that he has?
Yeah. Oh, my God.
Man.
Oh, my
remember?
God.
Oh, do you remember the one where he played like the old like racist? What was that? Was it the?
No,
with
I
the
know what you
car?
mean.
You know
Yeah.
what I'm talking about?
Yeah. What was
Was it?
Continental
Old man on the couch.
Mustang.
It was real
Porch.
recently.
Yeah,
recently.
the porch man.
Yeah, and
Old
they
man
lived next
porch
door to
guy.
like
El Torino.
I think that was it.
Yeah.
They lived next door to like a Hmong family or something, right? So there's all
Yeah.
these like, and he's like, it's an old time. He's like, get your yellow ass off my lawn, like all
Yeah.
this crazy shit. And they asked him about like political correctness, and he was like, I don't know what this shit's all about. He was like, back in my day, like we would shoot a movie, and if the grip was from China, he was the Chinaman, and that's just who you are, and we would just laugh about it, like we could tell jokes to people about their race and people wouldn't freak out, like because people were giving them a lot of shit.
Right. Yeah, people are
About-
super sensitive. You're not even supposed to joke around about
Yeah.
things unless you are of a nationality that's
Right.
a minor.
Right.
or rather a what's the word I'm looking for? Not minor.
Like a minority, or
A minority.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
if you're ethnic, you come from an
I'm a
ethnic.
minor. I'm thinking of a minority, and
Yeah.
I just stop at minor. That's how
Yeah.
tired I am. I think that for a lot of people, they give minorities like you know, whether you're black people can make fun of white people all day long,
Yeah,
but you're walking a fine line when you make fun of black people.
Yeah.
I've seen you do some great black jokes, and I see people go, "Oh shit!"
Right.
Like I see people
Yeah.
like that clench up and go, "Oh shit!"
Yeah.
Because people worry. People worry
do
when a
worry.
white guy makes fun of black people. It
Yeah.
gets to be a real, but black people can make fun of white people. I've seen white people laugh at the lamest shit.
They'll laugh at it. It's just like, it's like a guilty laugh.
Yeah,
at
it's
anything. Yeah.
this weird. They do that fake white guy voice. It's like a rip off of the Richard Pryor white guy voice.
Yeah.
Where Richard Pryor was like, it was a really unique thing. We'd say
It
it.
was.
You know, he'd say, you know, you can't fuck with white people. You'd be like, hey man, your mama. My mom's a great old gal.
Yeah,
you know, and
yeah.
he developed that sort of
Yeah.
white guy voice, and everybody sort of stole it.
They stole it, and a lot of
Yeah.
versions of it are terrible.
Yeah, it's kind of like, come on, man, white guys don't talk like that. That's not how they talk.
Yeah, and
you
they
know?
give, a lot of them give horrible examples.
Yeah,
Like,
it's-
they'll just
it's-
say, you're like, that's not a thing.
It's silly. I mean, you can
Yeah.
tell white people. You can tell white people.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's a weird gimme. You know, so for a lot of black guys, like especially when they're first starting out in stand up, that's the first thing they go to.
Yeah.
And isn't that one of those things that you see and you go, oh, he's going there?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, of course. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
unless you see it done like supremely well,
Yeah.
like there's
There has to be like a super good example for you to be
like,
pulling
yeah.
that.
And if the observation is really astute, and you're like that's some insight. Yeah, dude, you're picking apart something new, or you're doing it in a like you're doing a version of it that I haven't heard, but everything else has been done. You know, so like.
Will there always be minorities? Do you think there's ever going to be a point where we're all just gray, like a mocha?
Return that
I
gross.
think it would take
that gross
such
yellow
an
brown color.
Like that's happening. Like race is becoming really more mixed across the board.
You think so?
Oh, definitely.
Why are people attracted to blonde girls then? But we talked about this. You know what? What I'm not attracted to is blonde eyelashes and blonde eyebrows.
right.
I'm not attracted to blonde girls. I'm attracted to blonde girls that do shit with their eyelashes and their eyebrows.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Or
I
that
don't
just
like
don't
all
have
of it,
that.
but
Yeah.
I like blondes the most, man.
I think
Well,
blonde
isn't
up
that
every-
funny though? That's a weird. Or girls who don't do that, like girls who have naturally brown eyebrows.
Yeah,
and they're
that's what they usually
I
are.
gravitate.
A lot of them don't, man.
Really?
But
Yeah.
you know what I don't like at all though is like bleached.
Oh,
right.
yeah.
like that. That's not. It's got to be like a natural.
Oh, I like all
Blonde.
kinds of blonde. I think a lot of times when you take a girl that's like brown hair or some weird color of brown, you make her blonde, she's always hotter. You know, if
Yeah.
she's like nice bleached blonde.
You know what's really freaking me out, man? Amount of people that are putting shit in their face. Amount of people that are putting
Yeah.
like fillers in their face.
Yeah, like the implants.
It's
cheek
becoming
implants and stuff.
well. They're not even cheek implants. That's what I thought they were too. I thought they're like remember when Mickey Rourke did that? Mickey Rourke lost his fucking marbles. Remember that?
Yeah.
It's like in the '90s, I guess. He had
Yeah.
cheek implants.
Did he get implants?
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
Yes, he
I
did.
know he got a facelift.
And then he got them
Looked
removed. No, he had cheek
crazy.
implants, and he looked bizarre.
Yeah.
Well,
bizarre now.
I think what happened was that's when he was boxing, and when he had a pretty intense segment of his life where he just boxed, and he boxed professionally. He got his fucking brains rattled, dude.
Oh, he looks like it too.
Yeah, and I think that changed him as a person. You
Yeah.
know, I think it made him, you know, this wacky eccentric. Like, remember Gary Busey? He was a regular dude, crashes his motorcycle, becomes this wacky eccentric.
Totally crazy.
Yeah, he used to be this
Yeah.
really brilliant actor, really talented actor, like Mr. Joshua. Remember that?
Yeah.
And fucking, what was that movie?
He's an exciting guy.
What
to
movie
watch.
was that? Where he burned himself?
Yeah, I forget.
Bruce Willis movie?
I know.
Was that Pulp Fiction? No.
No,
Fuck.
no.
It wasn't?
Is that Gary Busey?
Yeah, Gary Busey.
He's not in Pulp Fiction, is he?
He's not.
I don't
Let's
think
see.
so.
Let's see. God damn it! I hate when I don't know.
I think Rourke is from. I think he's from Liberty City, Miami, too. That's a
My
pretty
point
crazy
was
place.
Lethal Weapon. Was that what it was?
Yeah, yeah. Gary Busey was in.
Was it Lethal Weapon?
I think so. One of them.
Yeah, I
Point
think it
Break?
was. Yeah, it was Lethal Weapon. Hold on.
Remember
Was he
him
in Point Break?
Yeah, I think so.
That was a good fucking movie.
That was a great
man.
movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gary Busey was. It was Lethal Weapon. Yeah, that's what it was. But what was I saying? He was a regular dude, and head trauma transformed him. You
Yeah,
know, and I think
yeah.
that's also what happened to Mickey Rourke. You know, he's a
Yeah.
regular dude, and he got so crazy that he decided it would be a good idea to put like plastic things inside his cheeks to make his cheeks
What?
bigger, and like nobody would know.
That
Have you ever
shit's
seen
nuts.
the photos?
Yeah, yeah. Mickey Rourke.
He had him removed, and now he's just got this weird thing where
I think
just
anyone that fucks with their face is going to look weird. Like, look, I don't know if Paul McCartney, because like on the Grammys, his face, there was a lot going on there, and
I think a lot of those dudes are just Botoxing it.
Yeah, but still,
they freeze their face so they can't move. Like if you get mad at something, you can't move your forehead.
Dude, it's way better to be able to do that and look old.
It's so silly. It's just you don't look better. You just look weird. You look weird. Your face doesn't move. Why isn't your face moving? These girls on these Beverly Hills Housewives shows. There's a lot of these women that have like fillers in their face, and then on top of that they have Botox. So they have these shiny faces that are like puffed up and they don't move, and they look like masks.
Yeah.
I was high as fuck once, and I was in the green room with Joey Diaz. Joey turns on the TV, and it was Joan Rivers. And I just freaked out.
Yeah,
I just freaked out. I was so baked, and it hit me like I looked at it, and like it really hit me what she's done. And you just want to go, just tell her to stop. Just tell her to stop doing that.
Yeah,
just tell her.
And she's still doing it. It
doesn't make you look better. It doesn't make you look better. It makes you look crazy.
I know.
It's the weirdest thing ever. That frozen puffy face. It's like they're injecting things into their face because when you get older, one of the first things that happens is your face starts to lose body fat. That's why you get like sort of that sunken, wrinkly. You lose. So they're injecting things in there to puff it up, and whoa, it's crazy looking, man.
She looks wild, man.
Whoa, it's a monster face. It's a monster. That's why when I see these women, I call them monster faces because you see them all the time, and it's like it really is just a mistake. Yeah, it's a mistake of you shouldn't do it.
And it's out of like such a fear of what would it look like like they don't want to look old, so they'd rather look crazy.
Well, it's also you convince yourself that you could fix something. Like I got hair transplants, and I totally wish I'd never done it because I have this stupid scar in the back of my head now. Otherwise, I would shave my head. But I got it because I was convinced that I could fix something. Like my hair was falling out. I was like, how do I fix this?
Yeah.
Is there a way to fix this? You research ways to fix this. You talk to the doctor. I can fix it. And they go, oh, he can fix it. Like, okay, I'll just get it fixed. But it doesn't fix it. It fixes it temporarily, but all the other hair falls out of it. The way I described it, I said it's like you're taking a bunch of healthy people and you're moving them to a neighborhood where everyone's dying.
Yeah.
So they take hair from the back of your head, they move it to the top of your head, and then all its neighbors just fucking wilt.
Callan has the exact same thing he was talking about on
yeah, he did too.
Podcast, and he was saying that they can pretty much get rid of a lot of the scar nowadays.
Yeah, they can. Yeah. I'm actually having treatments. They shoot things in your scar. It makes it smaller.
Oh, cool.
It's like a cortisone or something. I don't know what the fuck it is. Something, but it
just Botox it.
It's not like bad. Like I've seen guys who have bad ones. Mine's really thin. It's a very thin scar, but it's long. I've seen dudes who have big fat wide ones because their skin stretches out.
Wear some
chains.
Yeah.
Do you think that I should have like a lot of bling to distract? Exactly. Maybe I should have a giant Jesus on the cross. It'd be a conversation piece.
That'd be nice, man.
Start wearing
made
capes.
out of diamonds, and no one will even know. They'll go, "What's going on with your head?" Nothing. Whatever.
Get an eagle medallion, something big.
An eagle,
3D.
Maybe an eagle on the back of my head, bro.
That'd
American badass.
Now you're thinking
with like his claws will have like the American flag in it.
Yeah.
Don't you find it
and
weird
maybe these colors don't run?
Don't you find it weird that capes never caught on? Like it seems like we should have capes,
totally
like
weird,
really
right?
nice capes.
Yeah, I find it totally weird.
Well, I mean
that's the fucked up thing.
That it never came back. Like we didn't wear capes in the 50s. Like I think capes maybe back in the like 1700s in castle times.
Well, I think we think of that because of Dracula, right? But is that what they really wore? I think it was cold as fuck back then, and they hadn't really figured out jackets yet.
Yeah,
these stupid fucks. They would wear their clothes, and they would have this giant thing that they would throw over them, like a blanket that you run out of the house with.
If you wear a cape now, you better be able to back it up with some
what
real
if it's
shit.
What if
That's
it's
a
cool?
confident move.
What if it had tons of pockets for cell phones and money and wallet? It was like a book bag that was a cape.
I just think you better be cool too.
It's very Purple Rain of you.
I want you to be a really cool dude.
Yeah,
if you have a cape on.
You got to be a bad motherfucker for real.
Well, when you walk away, you're like, yeah, that dude's pretty.
I'll
smooth
take capes over that stupid shit that I saw today at the store, where this grown guy, probably our age, had a fucking wallet chain, but on it had like stuffed animals. Like I think there were different kinds of Pokemons, and then he had a fucking raccoon tail. And I'm like, you are
he had a raccoon tail.
Yeah, those stupid fake tails that people are wearing.
Wow, that's a sad man. How old is this guy? In his 30s? Is that what you
35, 40.
Wow. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
I just wanted to.
Yeah, a cape is better than that.
Yeah.
A cape is a more powerful statement.
Definitely.
The host of Fear Factor in Mexico had a cape.
For real?
Yeah. When we were doing Fear Factor, they spun off a bunch of other Fear Factors.
Yeah.
And one of them they did in Mexico. I don't even know if they it was like official. This might be.
Oh, really?
They might have just ganked it.
Yeah.
But they would copy our ideas and they would do them with like no safety at all. Like we had one where we had these people where they had to get, they had to rescue a dummy out of a burning building. And we put them in these crazy fire suits with a helmet on. And we had dudes standing by with fire extinguishers. When they did it on the Mexican show, they wore shorts.
Wow.
They were just people in shorts
Yeah.
running through a fucking house that was burning.
That's crazy.
You know? Yeah, it was ridiculous. It was probably a regular house, too. Ours is
Sure.
a fake house that the fire department uses for training in these
Yeah.
things. It doesn't burn down. It's
Theirs
all
was
cement.
covering murder.
Yeah, theirs was
That's
a
one
drug
thing that's
deal
crazy
gone wrong.
about our country. Again, our country and our culture is so like engrossed in lawsuits, and it operates on them and the fear of them that that actually makes things way safer.
Yeah.
When you think about it, there's countries, not necessarily Mexico, but there's countries in the world where like that is never an issue. Like
We
they're
want
like,
safety.
You fall down, they're like, that's cool. That's
Yeah.
on you.
We want safety. We want to be able to do things safe, and we want to be able to sue people that don't look out for our safety.
Yeah.
But ultimately, somewhere along the line, we're becoming a bunch of pussies.
With the lawsuit thing is just
Yeah.
great. People like
Yeah. They
still-
look at it as the lottery.
It's so ridiculous.
I mean, there's people that have legitimate concerns and legitimate claims. You know,
There definitely are, but then you read about like just these it's absolutely insane things that you pin on somebody else for things that you did.
yeah.
Like everything is somebody else's responsibility.
Well, you know about the lady that spilled the McDonald's coffee on her.
That's so ridiculous.
Yeah,
man. And
I
paid
think
her.
they overturned that. I think
Did
they
they?
actually overturned that. Yeah,
And that's not even that. To hear some of the ones that are and the ones that people win and the amounts, you're like, why are you paying this person?
Have you heard about the Monsanto lawsuit? Speaking of, they're guilty of chemically poisoning people in France.
Oh shit!
They chemically poisoned a French farmer.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's gonna be a big suit.
yeah. They were found guilty.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know the exact story. Apparently, it's the first such claim to ever reach French court, and Monsanto apparently they have some fucking pesticide. There's another thing they found out that in 93% of pregnant women that they tested, they found this pesticide that exists in Monsanto genetically modified crops. Yeah, Yeah, man, our politicians sold us down a river. They let all this shit go on because this is a giant company that makes a ton of money. And the way they make the ton of money is they patent plants.
Yeah.
They genetically engineer them so that it's uniquely theirs. And then they decide where they sell it. They decide what price they have for it. And you can't do anything about it. And you have to buy new stuff every year. And if it cross-pollinates with the neighbor, they can sue the neighbor for copyright infringement. It's completely crazy. They've figured out a way to copyright life, and they've actually tried to do it with pig parts. And Monsanto's crazy. I mean, they've tried to do it with a bunch of different shit. But this should have never been able to get to this position. This is the best evidence that the United States needs. The best evidence.
Yeah.
Something like Monsanto. The best evidence that our political system is completely corrupt.
Yeah.
Because if you were really looking out for people, there's no fucking way you would let a company make a bunch of shit, take plants, patent them, then sue people because the air carries their pollen. They cross-pollinate neighbors' plants, and then this neighbor where the fuck he got that shit from, you assholes.
Yeah.
You're going to get to sue them, and you're
Yeah.
going to take a guy to court, and there's India. In India, there's a whole fucking giant group of farmers that have been killing themselves because they get indebted to Monsanto and they can't afford to pay their bills.
Monsanto's like gangsters, or that's like mafia.
Yeah.
They will shut you down if you don't play ball. Too.
Yeah, well, this is crazy because you got to think about how much political pull that they have and the fact that they still lost in court. I mean, that says a lot.
Significant, yeah.
I think people are rising up and they're getting tired of this bullshit. It's ridiculous what these people have allowed to take place, and it doesn't have to continue along these same lines. What we really need is healthy food. What we don't need is a bunch of fucking crazy shit where companies come along and genetically modify crops, and then they take those crops and then they sell them to people with no evidence whatsoever about the long-term implications of the exposure to some of these chemicals.
Yeah.
And what is this going to do to the environment? You're playing with God, man. You're doing really crazy shit when you start altering life and then entering that. I mean, this isn't as simple as packaging a new kind of soap.
Yeah.
You're doing something pretty fucking crazy.
Yeah, that people are it's gonna be in their system.
There's not that much. Yeah, there's not that much evidence. Or not that much history of genetically modified modified foods. I mean, we need like 10, 20, 30 years to really analyze what the fuck it does to the environment and people, and what's the chain reaction, you know? What does the wings of the butterfly do from the modified food to, you know, how does it affect the ecosystem that all of a sudden it takes over?
Yeah.
You know? It's weird, man. It's weird when you start fucking with life, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, you know, I talked to this dude. He was talking about. I was just listening to the Opie and Anthony show, and what's his face was on Nicolas Cage, and he was talking about the black rhino going extinct this year. Mm-hmm. And I was telling this dude this, and he was like, "Well, we could just bring it back. You know, if we would just fucking bring back the black rhino."
Oh, you mean like
can't they do that? Yeah, can't they do that? I mean, they're talking about doing that right now with woolly mammoths. Yeah, but then it becomes the question of, okay, do we need rhinos though?
No,
do we really need rhinos to the point?
Woolly mammoths just to have a couple like at zoos, I think would be awesome.
Did you see there's a video in Siberia of a bear walking across a stream with a fish in his mouth, and it's really blurry, and so people are like, it's a woolly mammoth in Siberia.
Oh.
And then other people are going, or a bear with a fish in his mouth. How come the woolly mammoth has a blue nose?
Right.
You stupid fucks. Like, maybe there's a woolly mammoth.
There's a whole industry devoted to falsely seeing stuff, you know? There's shows, like full hour programs.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to talk about the shit that we saw.
Yeah.
And it's just people telling you, I saw some shit. And you're like, that's fucking bullshit, man. You didn't see anything.
You know when I really learned that? When I did that game show in my head show. I did this show for CBS, and what the show was, it was a game show with hidden cameras. Mm-hmm. And the way it worked was I was the host, and I would have a dude with a little earpiece in. I would send him out to a place, and the cameras were already in place. Hidden cameras were in place. I'd go, all right, dude, you ready? He goes, yeah. I go, here's the deal. You're a reporter, and you are there for the biggest story of your life. There was a UFO over Hollywood, and all these people saw it. But by the time you got your camera there and got it set up, all the people went away. So what you got to do is you got to find someone to get on camera with you and talk about their UFO experience. And you got to get them to say that they were abducted and probed.
Holy,
and so
people were
and
left
they were
and
like,
right.
oh, and the guy's like, okay, all right, here we go. And it was immediate. It was like no one said no. He goes, listen, man, I'm a reporter for this and that. Here's the deal. There was just a UFO sighting. Do you think I could get you to come on camera and say that you saw it? Oh, yeah. And then people would just start talking. They were like, well, it was bright silver, and it was spinning over the hemisphere, and what happened was, and they just give completely like detailed accounts.
Yeah.
It's like at this point, people have been so poisoned by pop culture and by the idea of UFOs, like they can just recall. They just have this like frozen fake idea in their head from 100 movies, and they can just go, oh yeah, I remember what happened in that movie. I just there was lights and lights.
That's why they give you such
around.
detail. They've seen it. They've seen it 100 times.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
They just lied. They just lied. Not only did they lied and were willing to sign a waiver saying that they lied and that we were going to show it on TV.
Incredible.
It was nuts.
People love to lie
bullshit
about stories because they love to be the one to report.
Yeah.
Everybody, there's a fascination with like, you want to know what happened?
Yeah.
And then you get to report, and then because everybody focuses on you, and they're like, "What happened?" And so, if you're willing to give them like the goods, people are willing to listen, and you get like, you get a charge out of being the one that told everybody.
Yeah,
you know? They love it. Anyone, like, it's amazing that they're willing to just make it up. Completely.
Yeah,
just for that feeling.
I think there's a lot of people that live lives of such shit.
Yeah.
Their lives suck so bad that they almost believe what they're saying when they tell you some story about seeing Bigfoot.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
It was probably a bear, and it was 20 years ago, and they were scared, and it was dusk, and they were like, he made eye contact with me, I'll tell you this right now.
Yeah.
To the day I die.
Yeah.
I swear on the eyes of my children.
Yeah.
That was a Sasquatch.
Yeah.
And they fucking believe it, man. By the time 20 years have passed.
Yeah, they've added all kinds of shit, man.
That memory ain't even real anyway.
I told them.
Your memories that you have from
fucking,
like anything more than like 5 years ago, what is that really? Do you really, you might remember some like really intense shit.
Yeah.
But barely.
But barely, yeah.
But barely. I mean, you could recall data and information, but how much of that memory can you really pull out?
I remember making up a story as a kid. I remember making up a story as a kid and spinning it to people until the point where it was like I would just tell people in detail for like years, from like 5th grade on to like and then one day I was like, I made this shit up. like I just completely made this up. I told a
that's
story to
hilarious.
people about, because we lived in Minneapolis. They're like, how cold is it get in Minneapolis? And I was like, December 24th of 1989, it was 74 below zero. And they're like, no. I'm like, yeah. And I was like, it was so cold, my teacher's ears froze and they fell off. And they were like, shut up. I was like, she's standing at a bus stop. We're outside of Sacred Heart. Bus came up. She didn't have a hat on. It was like the coldest thing ever. And she went to touch her left ear and it fell off. It was frozen. And then when she went to grab her right, it fell off in her hand and her ears fell off. I saw it. And people were like, get the fuck out of here. I'm like, yeah, that's what happened. It's real. and then, like, one day I was just like telling somebody and they're like, this doesn't sound real. I'm like, yeah, I think I made this shit up.
Like, you forgot?
I forgot that I made it up. I made it up.
God.
Because I made it up for that feeling. But like, you know, when you first discover the feeling, when you're 10 years old and you tell someone some wild shit and they go, what? You're like, oh, that feels kind of good. And so like, it was like a 10-year-old version of that I told when I was 10, 11, 12. And then finally when I'm like 14, 15, I was like, I don't think I saw this actually. I think I was 10 years old and I told you that my teacher's ears fell off.
Do you think that's what happened with OJ?
That his story is just
Became almost like indiscernible? Like, maybe this is real? I don't know what happened.
I don't know, man.
Do you think...
that is such a crazy reality that we had that figure in our lifetime. Mm-hmm. That is a spectacular climb and fall. Mm-hmm. That's almost unparalleled when you really think about it. To be a Heisman Trophy winning, like top tier world class athlete and celebrity that parlayed it into this awesome TV movie career.
Commercials.
He was
Hertz rental car
That was
commercial.
like, dude, that's it. Like, that's basically. That's the top of the mountain when it comes to an athlete's career.
Yeah. Athlete transitioning into celebrity.
Man, that's that's the model to follow, like of how to do it. And then for that to be the guy that fucking just butchered people.
Isn't it crazy?
Cut them
Just
up.
over some pussy.
And then wanted to steal back his shit. It's my shit, man.
Let it go, son. It's just
Let
a little
it
bit
go.
of pussy.
And now he's locked up for another. Like he beat the craziest, like the crime that we all know that's so crazy. He beat that charge and went back for some dumb shit.
Some beyond dumb shit.
Beyond dumb
memorabilia. Taking his memorabilia back with a
Palace
gun.
Station.
Was that what it was? The Palace Station?
Palace Station, man.
Zuffa
That was my
owned.
first.
People own the UFC.
Oh, really? That was my first Las Vegas gig.
Really? You played the Palace
I
Station?
played the Palace Station.
Wow, that's locals, right? Those are
That's a lot
locals
of locals.
casinos.
Yeah. That's
Locals and people from out of town that don't know any better.
yeah, that's the place too where like you
Or people actually that like to gamble like to go to those places. They just like to gamble because they have better odds.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, because if you go to like the Bellagio or one of the big casinos, MGM Grand
Yeah.
or something like that, they kind of, I think, they're probably better at getting your money.
Yeah, that shit's mostly bullshit. It seems like it's just, oh, we're here. Let's go spend some money.
That shit's real quick, man.
It's weird.
Real quick.
It's weird. I've seen people lose hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Really?
I've watched. Oh yeah, yeah.
What's
Dude,
amazing
I've been
is
coming to Vegas. I've been going to Vegas doing UFCs since 2001, 2002. That's when I started going to watch. 2001, I started going right after 9/11. I saw Tito Ortiz take on Vladimir Matyushenko. That was right after September 11th.
You called that?
No. I was in the audience.
Really?
Watching? Yeah.
Oh.
I didn't work for them back then. I was
I
was just a fan. And so from then, to 2012, I've
Yeah.
seen some people throw some crazy money away,
bet, man.
It's just a weird place when you have one area where all the rules are different.
Yeah.
One area, just one area. One area we could fucking drink whenever you want. One spot. We got this spot, and you could just fucking 6 o'clock in the morning, you can have a drink. You don't ever have to leave your hotel, dude. We got a giant hotel where you can wander around.
Yeah.
We have world-class food here, and everywhere you can gamble. If they had a strip club in the major hotels, it would really be the perfect place. A strip club and a pool hall.
That'd become
you never have to go anywhere.
The strip club would be
Yeah.
that would be like $100 million a year like revenue generator.
It probably
People
would
go
if they put it, but
crazy.
you know what? It'd be too much, too
yeah.
dark,
Too decadent.
Make people leave. Make people go somewhere.
Yeah.
But there's places they have in Vegas that are like the biggest strip clubs in the world.
Did you know
They're enormous.
that like Macau, China? Do you know what I'm talking about?
It's a place in China?
Yeah.
No.
That's their Vegas. That's their gambling.
Oh.
That place, the Chinese place, does something like 3 or 4 times the money that Vegas does.
Really? Wow.
Like it blows it away.
Is it because of volume or because they gamble more?
I would think it's a combination of the two.
Chinese gamble hard, dude.
I didn't know they build those places in Vegas. A lot of them build it to the standards, like for Asian for Asian
feng shui,
yeah.
And it's the numbers of the floors are important, and the way it's set up is important, and there's things that aren't lucky. And they make sure that they do it in accordance with what Chinese people think is lucky.
MGM used to be. You remember what the entrance of the MGM was when it opened?
What was it?
The main entrance was a lion's mouth. You were walking into.
And it was bad luck for them, right?
And the Asians were like, "No thanks," and they're like, "Hold on a second, we're going to take that shit down right now."
They got rid of the lions.
They do anything.
That's right. That's right.
They don't want to walk through a lion's mouth.
Yeah, well, that's because in their country you can get eaten by a fucking tiger.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
They just took that lion out of the MGM. You know?
Oh, the lion that was living in there?
Yeah. I always thought that was the most depressing thing.
It's terrifying. Yeah. And they attacked a trainer there once.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, there's video of it. Lion attacks trainer at MGM. Yeah, it's pretty fucked up. Pull that shit up. See if we can find it. Yeah, I think my favorite is the Shark Tank at Mandalay Bay. That's the
amazing.
most badass attraction. That's a dope ass aquarium setup.
Yeah.
They have a huge tank filled with sharks, and they have these cool ass jellyfish, and the jellyfish are all like under these psychedelic neon lights, and they're floating around. Mm-hmm. That's a badass fish tank, man.
Jeez, this is a crazy video.
Dude, it's a bizarre video. The MGM, the guys are in the tank with the... Put your hand down so I can see. The MGM guys are in the tank with giant male lions, man. And for whatever reason, the lions is just like, bitch. Here, he gets up. I don't know what happens. He just finds the guy weak. You know, he just... I bet they're just annoyed, man. They're trapped in this fucking box with these little pink bitches that think that they could survive. Like, why do you think you could stand next to a lion? I don't care if you raise that thing with a bottle. Look at the size of that. Look at he just decides to jack the dude. Like, look at that, man. Just decides to fuck that dude up for no reason. Then the female jumps in. And even if they're playing, even if he's playing, it's like, whatever, man. Look at him. He just goes after that guy for no reason. And that guy's like, oh, shit. And the other guy, for whatever reason, he's listening to the other guy. So the other guy gets in between the two of them, and the lion chases him. The guy almost gets jacked.
Wow.
How scary must that have been? And people took that shit with their cell phones.
I know.
Look at the size of his fucking head and all that crazy hair around him. What a nutty animal, man.
That's crazy. I did not hear about this.
Yeah. Well, nobody died, but it was a freak moment. And, you know, they have that hair around their neck just so that other lions can't kill them. That's
really?
what it's for.
That's protection for that?
I thought it was
It's
interesting
protection.
that the girl lion kind of like was like, "Hey, stop! What you're biting a human?" Like, did you notice that she kind of like
Sort
jumped
of.
on him and was like,
She
hey.
might have been like, can I bite him too? If shit got crazy, if some blood came out, she might have just fucked him up too. Because they're the hunters.
Yeah.
The females are the hunters.
Have you been following this whole thing with the Judge Napolitano that got fired from Fox Business?
Yeah. Fascinating.
That's crazy, and the whole is. I didn't know anything about the Israeli connection that some people
pull
believe.
that thing up. Pull that video up.
Okay.
So we can listen to it because it's not long.
Right.
And it's
What
shocking.
is this?
Judge Napolitano, he had a show on Fox Business where he would really be like super honest about stuff and, you know, really have an astute breakdown of how our political system really functions and how the American public's been lied to from the beginning. And the way he did it is by posing a bunch of questions. What if this? What if that? What if? And the way he does it, man, it's
That's
really,
actually a different video that I was talking
Listen
about.
to this.
No, that's a different video, what you're talking about. I'll find that. But this was the video that got him fired.
Fired?
Yeah. He got fired the other day for this broadcast.
Well, no, the other video was on that as well. I see the one that you just pulled up, but the other video was being touted as something that got him fired as well. Apparently, they were going to fire him no matter what, and this was his go out.
Right.
But listen to what he says.
Process that validates an establishment that never meaningfully changes. What if that establishment doesn't want and doesn't have the consent of the governed? What if the two-party system was actually a mechanism used to limit so-called public opinion? What if there were more than two sides to every issue, but the two parties wanted to box you into a corner, one of their corners? What if there's no such thing as public opinion, because every thinking person has opinions that are uniquely his own? What if what we call public opinion was just a manufactured narrative that makes it easier to convince people that if their views are different, then there's something wrong with that, or there's something wrong with them? What if the whole purpose of the Democratic and Republican parties was not to expand voters' choices, but to limit them? What if the widely perceived differences between the two parties was just an illusion? What if the heart of the government policy remains the same no matter who's in the White House? What if the heart of government policy remains the same no matter what the people want? What if those vaunted differences between Democrat and Republican were actually just minor disagreements? What if both parties just want power and are willing to have young people fight meaningless wars in order to enhance that power? What if both parties continue to fight the war on drugs just to give bureaucrats and cops bigger budgets and more jobs? What if government policies didn't change when government leaders did? What if no matter who won an election, government stayed the same? What if government was really a revolving door for political hacks bent on exploiting the people once they're in charge? What if both parties supported welfare, war, debt, bailouts, and big government? What if the rhetoric that candidates displayed on the campaign trail was dumped after electoral victory? What if Barack Obama campaigned as an anti-war, pro-civil liberties candidate and then waged senseless wars while assaulting your rights that the Constitution is supposed to protect?
Boom.
What if George W. Bush campaigned on a platform of non-intervention and small government and then waged a foreign policy of muscular military intervention and a domestic policy of vast government borrowing and growth? What if Bill Clinton declared that the era of big government was over, but actually just convinced Republicans like Newt Gingrich that they can get what they want out of big government too? What if the Republicans went along with it? What if Ronald Reagan spent 6 years running for president, promising to shrink the government, but then the government grew while he was in the White House? What if, notwithstanding Reagan's ideas and cheerfulness and libertarian rhetoric, there really was no Reagan revolution at all? What if all this is happening again? What if Rick Santorum is being embraced by voters who want small government, even though Senator Santorum voted for the Patriot Act, for an expansion of Medicare, and for raising the debt ceiling by trillions of dollars? What if Mitt Romney is being embraced by voters who want anyone but Barack Obama, but they don't realize that Mitt Romney might as well be Barack Obama on everything from warfare to welfare? What if Ron Paul is being ignored by the media, not because, as it claims, he's unappealing or unelectable, but because he doesn't fit into the pre-manufactured public opinion mold used by the establishment to pigeonhole the electorate and create the so-called narrative that drives media coverage of elections? What if the biggest difference between most candidates was not substance, but style? What if those stylistic differences were packaged as substantive ones to reinforce the illusion of a difference between Democrats and Republicans? What if Mitt Romney wins and ends up continuing most of the same policies that Barack Obama promoted? What if Barack Obama's policies, too, are merely extensions of those from George W. Bush? What if a government that manipulated us could be fired? What if a government that lacked the true and knowing consent of the governed could be dismissed?
Now he's getting crazy.
What if it were possible to have a real game changer? What if we need a Ron Paul to preserve and protect our freedoms from the government?
That's what he got fired for?
What if we could make elections matter again? What if we could do something about this? From New York, defending freedom every night of the week.
Well,
It's so depressing that we're really in a situation where this is the situation.
I know.
We're really stuck here. This is where we're at. 2012.
Was that the final
This guy's
broadcast?
absolutely right. I don't know if that was his final broadcast, but it was a very powerful one.
And
now he's fired.
it is, yeah. That is powerful stuff.
The other one that he talks about, he makes connections on 911 with Israeli, like how it's like it's really weird to actually watch it.
What was their reason? What did they announce was the reason for firing him?
Oh, I don't know, man. I don't think they did.
Yeah,
I think people get fired for all sorts of different things all the time.
Yeah.
I'm not necessarily sure that he got fired because of that.
Right.
But that's definitely something he went pretty fucking.
And was this guy getting
far
popular?
out on a limb.
Was this show popular?
Yeah. It's popular. It should be even more popular now. The things that he said, they're gonna take off on the internet. That video is gonna take off on the internet. It already is, right? What is it? What's the hits on it right now?
444,000.
Yeah, and by the way, there's a gang of those. It's not just that one.
Yeah.
Right.
There's a gang of those out there. That's not just one person put it up on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking powerful shit, man. He's absolutely right, too. I mean, how do you fire the government, though? That's Jesus. Something's going to happen, though. Something's happening, and I think the government's recognizing it as well. This is going to be an adjustment. There's going to be there has to be, because otherwise it's a dictatorship. At a certain point in time when you're really not doing the will of the people at all, and you really are suppressing the people, and you really are taking away liberties, you're really trying to turn us into a fucking crazy dictatorship.
Yeah.
It's really not much different than that.
I don't know how anybody views this shit without being cynical after
After Obama.
Just after you turn a certain age. Like, I feel like I really do feel like it all doesn't matter. Like, whoever you vote for, that nothing is really going to be different. When has it ever really, like, you start hearing that when the speeches start coming about, it's time to change Hollywood. I'm a Washington outsider, and I'm about to go in there. We're going to change shit up now. That's always the one where you're like, that's not going to happen, man. Like, after a certain age, you realize it's not going to happen.
Well, you realize they're not telling you the truth. If Obama wanted to say some really radical things, he could have already said it. And, Chris Rock really did this really fascinating interview recently where he said that he thinks that Obama is going to wait until his second term, and then he's going to do some crazy shit. I'm like, God, that sounds like you're wishful thinking. That sounds to me like, what, have you paid attention to what he has done? Almost irreversible damage. That National Defense Authorization Act that treats the United States like a battlefield and allows indefinite suspension or detention of American civilians with no warrant. That's insanity. Yeah. You don't need that. It's not, we're not falling apart. We don't have violence in the streets every day. We're not in the middle of an Arab Spring situation. We don't have nuclear bombs dropping on our city. What the fuck are you doing instigating or pushing forward those kinds of laws and legislation? The number one thing that we're supposed to be about is the pursuit of liberty. It's supposed to be liberty and justice for all. That's how it ends, right? With liberty and justice for all. That's what we want. And you're taking away liberty. For what? For what? Is you giving us extra justice? Is that why you... No. That's bullshit is what it is. It's 100% bullshit. It's not representative of the people. It's sad, and it's got to change. Just how does it change? I don't know. It scares the shit out of everybody, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
That judge is on Twitter under Judge Nap, NAP.
Oh, really?
We could maybe get him on an upcoming podcast.
Do you think so? You think
maybe.
He'd even talk to us?
Sure.
He'd probably lock us in jail.
I don't know about that. His hair.
Judge Nap.
He uses a good pomade.
What's his full name? What's his name?
Judge Napolitano.
Yeah.
Judge
I call him Nappy Tano because he has a nappy tan.
I'm following him now. He's only got 55,000 followers. Freedom Watch. Yeah. They cancel that shit.
Him and Alex Jones. We need to get Alex Jones on this podcast also sometime.
Yeah, Alex is going to do it. He'll do it when he's in LA again. And Alex is fucking crazy. If you have Alex on our podcast, you'll get a view as to what's up. He's right about a lot of shit, man.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a soldier. He's out there fucking beating the bushes.
Is he a daily show? He's a daily thing, right? Does he have a daily show?
Yeah. He has a whole studio.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. His studio is pretty fucking impressive. His show's huge. It's enormous. There's a lot of people who listen to it.
Yeah.
It's all doom and gloom, though, man.
Yeah, I've seen clips of him. Yeah.
Doom and gloom. The best show we ever had was the time when Joey Diaz took over.
Oh, I remember that. I remember that day.
We've talked about it too many times on the podcast to rehash it, but
I remember that
one of
day.
the most glorious things I've ever seen.
Have you ever been the type of person that when you drive around, you see like a hot chick, like you'll wink at them or like give them kissy faces or anything?
No.
Lately, I've been doing it more.
Really?
Just because I realized you pretty much can do that, and you'll never see that person ever again. They'll never know who you are.
But you're putting out a creeper feel.
No, but I don't do creepy ones. I just be like making like silly faces at them, or
oh god, that's even worse.
Like
they don't even know you, and you're making silly faces.
It's just funny seeing people's reactions. I love it.
Dude, how many people freak out?
There's a lot of fear that you're generating.
Yeah, you're putting out some bad hoodoo out there, bro.
It's mostly laughter. Like
mostly laughter.
They'll laugh.
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, it's just like they look over and like, what the fuck's going on over here?
Right.
Meanwhile,
you're still probably scared the shit out of them.
Yeah,
probably.
So
you just decided to be a creep at this age?
Yeah, I don't know why I started. I think it's because I saw somebody do it to somebody else once, and I was like, that's hilarious. That person just made that person like laugh and then drove off and never to see that person again. So
have you ever been around the one guy who can't not hit on a chick? You know that guy who you're hanging out with him, and you can't even hang out with them because they'll just abandon you for a chick.
Yeah. I remember when I was in an apartment in Hollywood when I was like 21, 22. And had some friends come out, and one of the guys was that guy who just can't stop. So when I went to bed, I had my bedroom. We had like 3 friends in the living room and 1 girl who we had all gone to school together. And I was like, I offered her, I was like, you can sleep in my bed, like not in a creep way, but like you can.
But like I'll fuck you.
Like I'm gonna try, but I'm not gonna make it like. So Anyways, she was like, "No, I'm good. I'll sleep out here." And I was like, "All right, like
Right.
fine." And then like 5 minutes later, I got like a knock on the door, and I was like, "What's up?" And she's there, and she was like, "Yeah, he just tried to lick my neck when I went to sleep."
Oh my
And
god.
I was like, "You want to sleep in here now?" She was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Okay, that's cool." And then I wasn't a creep though.
You didn't try to fuck her?
No.
Did you try to spoon her at all?
I think so.
Ooh, spoon's nice.
I think I got the like.
You got a swat?
I think so.
She swatted you, like, get off me?
It definitely didn't happen.
Wow, she came for comfort, and then you just.
No, I didn't molest
Did she
her, man.
cuddle with you at all?
No, I think it was very much like because when somebody just is leaving, she was just leaving. Like that shit was really uncomfortable. I wasn't gonna be like, well,
Right, of
Let me
course.
extend that feeling for you.
Right.
No, I was
But
just like,
you
no.
try to settle into a new level of
A new
comfort
level.
and then creep slowly.
Honestly, I could tell you
Towards the
this, man.
darkness.
There's a lot of times when I was single that I didn't pursue that stuff because I was too tired, and I would just
'Cause
go
you're
to-
too tired?
I would just go to sleep. I was like,
Why is that? Why are you so tired?
No, I mean like when it was late at night, like I was.
And there's a hot chick with
I'd
you.
be like, yeah, I'm gonna go to sleep.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah, but
Have
I
you
mean,
ever
not
got your
like
thyroid checked out.
no, but I'm saying that alcohol.
Oh, alcohol
Yeah,
does it,
B12.
man. Yeah,
not,
alcohol.
not sober.
Yeah, there's nothing sadder than having a whiskey dick.
Friday,
Nothing
Saturday
sadder.
night, maybe I'd be like, I'd make a totally potential like college thing.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, I think I'm gonna go to sleep right now. That sounds like the best thing. And I would just fucking lay down. Yeah.
I just got my thyroid checked. I just got a physical using the same doctor
Yeah.
as Tommy.
Yeah.
And it's so
Why
funny.
did you that?
Because
That's
he's
weird.
the fucking best doctor.
Oh, the doctor's
The
the best.
doctor's
Doctor's the
awesome.
Oh, I thought you were yelling about Brian getting a physical.
No.
Like, yeah.
Did he
medical shit.
Did he check your asshole out? Because he didn't. He skipped my asshole. I was like, I mean, I
No.
cleaned it for hours, you know. And,
For hours?
And
Use a toothbrush?
Huh? No, I did one of those things that scratch your asshole, and then sometimes
Scratch
it
it
bleeds
like a maxi pad?
No, those lupas.
A loofah sponge?
Really?
You loofah'd it?
Loofah'd.
You
I loofah'd
loofah
my
sponged your
asshole. I
asshole?
scratched it
What
all
about
up.
the inside? That's the important part.
No, I didn't do anything. But
didn't
but,
give
but I
yourself an
did
enema?
test when I was in the shower. I was testing like, all right, this is what it's kind of going to be like.
Oh, you put a finger up your ass?
Yeah. Like I just wanted to like, all right.
So what are
that's-
they looking for? Bumps?
Yeah,
What are they looking
well, they
for?
didn't
Just a
do
mess?
it. He didn't do it. No.
What are they reaching in? They look
yeah, I
feel
think
for
a bump.
cancer?
Yeah, I think
See,
something-
I was most concerned about my asshole too, so I'm really kind of upset that he didn't.
Why were
Yeah.
you most concerned about
Because
it?
I think that's where the
problem
most
area.
death would be from. You
most
know,
death?
would be from asshole.
Asshole
you would get it. What? But you smoke cigarettes. You wouldn't worry about
No,
lungs?
but I just
You worried
fucking-
about your
I have
ass.
weird ass issues. You
Really?
know, like we've talked about that. But he did feel my balls up, which was weird. Like
What'd
having a
you
guy,
think?
and he's just like rolling them in his hand. He goes, "Yep, that's fine."
Did you think that maybe if he jerked you off, you could come?
No, it's,
way?
It's,
my dick is so small when
Yeah.
it gets checked.
It was
when I get the
super
ball
quick,
check,
yeah.
but I almost want to point it out. Like I
Yeah.
almost want to be like every time I get like a physical,
it's
and they're
bigger
like,
than that,
I want to be like, you should see it some other time.
yeah. When he
It's a little better than
when he
this.
checked my cock, he did like the thing where he had to like pull it out, kind of like one of those old hippie guitar string, where you hold the thing. But he like pulled it out and looked at it, and then he checked all, and then took all these blood tests. But he's testing me for everything, and then he's like, "So you want to do all STDs?" I'm like, "Yeah, might as well. I'm dating a porn star." And he goes, "Oh, you are?" He goes, "All right, we can do
Look,
that."
Brian just offers it up even to the doctor. Well, you know how it is when you're dating a porn star.
well, what he said is, he's like, "Well, you should be fine because they get tested every 20 days." And I'm like, "Yep, that's exactly a bit in my act."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, you mooch off her test." And I'm like, "Yep, exactly." He's a funny doctor, though.
He's
This
funny.
guy's really good. And he said, "Tell Tom, start sending some hot chicks." And I said something really like in
Let's
the.
not say his name on the air. 'cause
No,
that might be a
no,
bit
no.
unethical.
No, and then, but when we were in the waiting room where I just, paid and everything like that, and I'm about to walk out, and he goes, "Well, it's good seeing you, Brian. Tell Tom I said hi." And I'm like, "Okay, I'm sorry I'm not hot for you," or something like that. And it came out like one of those, like, everyone in the room's like, "What the fuck?" And then I'm like, "I'm sorry I'm not pretty enough. Never mind. God, get out of here."
Awkward Brian. Old Brian moment at the doctor's. That's
is
hilarious.
hilarious.
Everybody in that room probably had no idea what was going on.
So what did he say about your lungs and cigarettes and stuff like
He
that?
said everything was perfect. I was good.
Perfect.
Now they're doing
How's
the
that
blood
possible?
test.
I would like to second that evaluation. You
Yeah.
are
What
perfect.
do they check when they check your lungs?
They make
Look
you
for cancer and that's it?
They just like make you do huge deep breaths while they like test you. They listen like all up and down your chest and your back.
Oh.
And then
How long does it take for you to die from cigarettes?
I don't know, man.
It's just, it really matters if you have cancer in your
Yeah.
family, and
Really?
I don't have cancer in my
Some
family.
people like genetically just don't get it.
I think so, man. Yeah, I mean, there's
Well,
definitely
there's
people.
always stories, right?
Oh,
There's
I
always
know.
stories.
I know a friend's grandparents who lived into their 90s and smoked and drank and ate red meat, and
Whoa.
they just died. They didn't die of cancer. They died of old age.
Well, they had a good time. That's
had
why
a
they were
great time.
smiling.
Yep.
You
They're
know?
loving it, man. Drinking
Well,
every day.
there was something that I read once. I don't know if it's documented, but that 100% of all people that live to be over 100 eat red meat.
Really?
Yeah, there's never been a documented case of a vegetarian that lives to be over 100. That could be total horseshit. Don't you
Right.
fucking crazy vegans? Don't you text me about
That's
this?
from the
Don't you
bologna
tweet me?
company.
Dude, vegans are the quickest to the fucking the tweet.
Yeah.
The angry tweet, the angry dietary tweet.
Yeah. They are. And the quickest to
Silly.
diarrhea, too.
It's the quickest to diarrhea.
I think so.
A lot of fiber involved.
Yeah, yeah. You're going to be really shitting with that vegan diet.
I love a good vegan meal though. I love.
I've had a few.
vegetable meals. I drink that kale shake every day. That's fantastic. For
I have a
you,
kale
man.
salad a few times a week from a place nearby.
Yeah.
Really
It's
good.
hard to get grass-fed meat these days,
Yeah.
man. Apparently, all of it's getting consumed up in Northern California. All the hippies up there love it.
Really?
And it's
The all natural
It's,
grass meat, yeah.
It's way better for you.
And you just go to Whole Foods and they don't have it?
No, they're out of it a lot.
Really?
Yeah, because up north, look, there's only a certain amount of people that are growing grass-fed meat, and it's become super popular lately.
Wow.
So all these, it's more popular in Berkeley and San Francisco, I'm sure, than down here in Retardville.
Yeah.
So they can sell all of their cows up there. Why ship them all the way down to Los Angeles?
Yeah.
So they're having an issue. Like last Tuesday, the Whole Foods near me didn't even get a shipment of grass-fed meat.
Wow.
Yeah, I have to go there on Tuesday to get the meat.
It's
Crazy. That's the only time
you
they
taste
have
the
it.
difference? Like
Fuck yeah, 100%. It's a totally different meat. It's a totally different animal because the cow that is raised on corn, they're fat fucks. They're marbled and it's really delicious.
Yeah.
It's really really fucking yummy because all that fat gets
Yeah.
all like a ribeye from
Yeah.
a corn
Yeah.
corn raised cow. It's great because it's so juicy, but it's not quite as healthy for you, and it doesn't taste the same. When you get a grass-fed ribeye, there's much less marbling, and you got to cook it quicker because it'll dry out.
Yeah.
There's much less fat in it, so you sort of sear it.
You're
and
getting
sear
a better piece of meat, though.
God damn, it's good though. Woo! It's totally different. It's almost like a gamey animal, not gamey.
Yeah.
It's it tastes.
Like buffalo almost or something?
Almost.
Yeah.
It tastes better. It tastes like you're eating a healthy animal.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, there's some steaks I've had where I'm like, oh man, like you can feel your body kind of slowing down.
Yeah.
Like, you're like, ooh, that was not good,
Grass-fed
man.
beef, though, is supposed to be way healthier for you, too. It's something about the actual animal being healthy that, like, a lot of guys, I know a lot of fighters have switched to grass-fed meat recently. My buddy Einstein, who listens to this all the time, is one of Eddie's black belts, said his performance really started increasing when he upped his greens and changed to all grass-fed meat.
Really?
He said big difference, yeah. Yeah, it's just healthier. You know, it just makes sense that your body would respond better if you're eating healthier animals.
Yeah, it does make sense.
We're fucking up, man.
Yeah.
Fucking up our
And eat your
goddamn-
veggies and fruits.
Fucking up our goddamn Monsanto fruits and vegetables.
It's
and
crazy, man.
Our fat fuck cows and our farm grown fish because all the fish in the ocean are dead.
Yeah, man.
You know, they said that the next 100 years is going to be the last wild fish in the world. And within the next 100 years, there will be no more wild fish in the oceans.
What?
Yep. We'll have outfished the entire
we-
ocean.
we-
Does the bologna
Overfish.
company also say that?
No, they think about it from an exponential growth point of view, that there'll be more people in 100 years. You know, I mean, think about 100 years ago, there was only like 1 billion people on the planet.
Yeah.
Now there's 7 billion.
So crazy.
Right? It's
Yeah.
crazy. What's it going to be 100 years from now? Is it going to be 30 billion? Where are they going to get all their protein from? A lot of it's going to be fish. It's easy to catch, and they're going to once they're going to fucking just troll everything. They're going
Yeah.
to suck all that fucking fish out of there. They're going to eat whales. They're going to do everything they can eat. They're going to everything that humans can consume, and then 100 years from now, we're going to have to figure it out.
It'll just be an empty ocean. Just,
That would be crazy.
that would be crazy.
Could you imagine if we actually kill everything in the ocean within 1,000 years?
That'd be amazing.
If people live to be 1,000 years, why is that outside the realm of possibility?
Yeah.
There was something I tweeted earlier today about the garbage patch. That some lady went to the garbage patch. It's in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. For folks who don't know, bigger than Texas. There's a giant hunk of garbage, all plastic, that's kind of caught together in like this one swarm. It's like caught up, I guess, in like the way the tides go. There's one area where it's collected, where it's enormous. It's bigger than the state of Texas, which takes like more than a day to drive through. All right, so that's how much garbage is out there.
Wow.
And it's just getting bigger. And it's going to keep getting bigger.
Forever.
Yeah.
Is that a homeless person's heaven? You think they all talk about it like as if it's like Disney World?
You go.
Imagine going there.
You never run out of plastic. I think the plastic breaks down, though. I think that's part of the issue is that the salt water breaks it down to like jelly, like little particles, and it's really fucked. It's not like just like stuff floating that you can scoop up.
Yeah.
It becomes like almost liquid.
No.
Yeah.
It's fucked up, man. It's
It
like
is.
we're so creepy. Think about what we do. We
Yeah.
kill all the rhinos. We fuck the ocean over. We eat all the fish. We throw our garbage in it.
You would drive by trash. What are they called? Trash plants. You know what I'm talking
Oh
about?
yeah, sure, yeah.
Landfills.
Yeah. Landfills.
Yeah, and you see how like they're like, they're higher altitude
Yeah.
than like the street level. And you're like, that's just gonna keep growing. Like one
Yeah.
day, that's gonna be like a building of garbage.
Yeah.
It's like mountains, like hills. Of
Stanhope
garbage.
and I filmed the finale of the Man Show in a garbage dump.
Really?
Yeah, because the girls were trying to con us into taking them to an island. Like, there was two of the girls that were in the old Man Show, and we didn't get along with them so well. And they were like, Adam and Jimmy used to take us to the Bahamas. We should do that. You should take us to the Bahamas. We'll film the final scene there. And then we thought about it, and Doug and I were like, we should do it at a garbage dump. And I was like, well, you think about it, man. I wanted to do it at a garbage dump in New Jersey. I wanted to do it like the stinkiest, grossest dump. I said, if you're at home and you're watching us, these two assholes, hang out with girls who never fuck you, on in a place where you can never afford to go to, hanging out how's that fun for you?
Yeah.
I go, it'd be much more fun for you to watch us in a dump.
Sure. It's so much funnier
Yeah.
too.
So that's what I felt like.
Yeah.
They were so mad at us. It was gross. In their defense,
It's
it was
really funny
gross.
that they asked for it though first. Like they were like, "What's up with the Bahamas?" And you're
Yeah,
like,
they
"How
wanted to
about
go."
a garbage dump.
Well, it's. I don't blame them, man. That culture, the hot chick culture of asking for things, and they would rub the writer's shoulders, and you're gonna put us in a scene, that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's
was
gross shit, though.
Yeah, well, so that was the culture of it. Yeah,
Yeah.
There was a lot of grossness going on, but
Sure.
none of it was as gross as that garbage dump. We
Nah,
made
that
up for
shit
all
is
of it.
Fucking foul.
It's so bad. We were eating lunch, and there's fucking garbage dust floating in the air. It was
Yeah.
It was on Catalina. Catalina has a giant garbage.
Do they really?
Yep, enormous.
That's kind of a trip that
It's a bummer, man.
that whole society there.
I think a lot of our garbage goes out there.
That sucks.
Yeah, it does suck. Catalina, for folks who don't know, is an island outside of the coast of Los Angeles.
Yeah, 14 miles off the coast.
14.
I've never gone. Do you recommend
Pretty dope.
it?
Yeah,
It's cool, man. There's no cars driving around, just golf carts and shit.
Yeah, it's weird. It's big enough that you could actually live there, though.
You can go on a ferry or a helicopter.
Yeah.
I took the helicopter.
Really?
Maybe
and
that's
then-
where we should put our compound.
The next year, that helicopter company crashed.
Really?
Yeah. I think
Fuck
they crashed into
helicopters.
Catalina.
And somebody died?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Fuck
Yeah.
helicopters.
It wouldn't have been you, though, right?
Nah, not me,
you
man.
made
You
your way
can't
through
stop
that.
me.
You can't
No,
stop
but
me,
you can't
bro.
hold me down. Y'all can't see me.
Not me, bro. I'll tell you what, man. Fuck that helicopter.
Fuck that
I'll
shit.
grab that fucking the propeller with my hand and I'll spin it myself.
Plus, I got heart. I got a lot of heart you can't measure.
I go, you can't fuck with my heart, bro. It ain't the size of the dog in the fight. It's the size of the fight in the dog.
There it is.
Yeah.
This dog can hunt.
Would you live on Catalina? What if we got a giant piece of land in Catalina and that's where we set up our compound?
I'd have to check it out first because I don't like not having Best Buys and things like
Oh, you
that.
That's
don't have
totally
that.
true.
You don't
We
have
should seriously look into a good place where we can all move.
Yeah.
Just everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of LA, but close enough. We'll just get a giant chunk of land, get a few hundred acres.
Yeah.
All of us build
I love
houses
it.
there. Do you know how dope that would be if we could have our own like M. Night Shyamalama Ding Dongs, the
man.
village?
That'd be awesome. Can we have
How
a
cool-
lake? I like lakes.
Yes. How cool would it be for real if we got everyone that we know that's cool and we decided we're all going to
It'd be the
invest in
shit,
some
dude.
property and build houses there?
Yeah, and all your friends live in the
It'd be
neighborhood.
fucking awesome. If you lived down the street and Kreischer was there and you could hear yeah, Eddie Bravo lived up the hill, and Brian lived down the hill, and Duncan lived over there, and Ari lives over. That would be fucking
That'd be
awesome.
fun. Yeah.
That's how fucking cults get started, though. That's what happens.
Yeah, that would actually be the most fun. We talk about Christina and I because she also loves Bert's wife.
Really?
Yeah,
In what way? In that way?
And you know what's up. It's Valentine's Day. What? Yeah.
By the way, I just realized I'm doing a fucking 420 show. I'm doing a 420 show in Atlanta. Where's that place I'm doing it, Brian? Is it on my Twitter thing?
It just says Land Drawer on your Twitter.
Doesn't want to pull up on my laptop. It looks weird, man, when I try looking at.
Just go to
Are you doing it on
.net and
420?
click a calendar.
Yeah, I'm doing some.
Nice.
I'm doing someplace in Atlanta.
Some high times.
420 though. It's 420.
That'd be
It's
awesome.
I've never done a 420
That'd be
show
cool.
on
It's
purpose.
called the Tabernacle.
Tabernacle, you fucking idiot.
I did one.
Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. It's called the Tabernacle. You fucking silly goose.
You are a silly little goose.
You might be the silliest goose of all gooses.
Tabernacle.
Yeah, but that's on 420. I wanna do my special there, but I don't know if I have enough time. But it would be the place to do it because Atlanta fucking crowds are awesome. By the way, one of the most underrated cities in the country
for sure.
And they have a great comedy community. They
do.
Yeah,
great
the Punchline
scene.
in Atlanta has a great community.
I love the Laughing Skull.
I haven't been. But I heard that's great too.
The Laughing Skull is at the Vortex. I think that's in Midtown, and that is that's like it seats 74, 75.
So it's like the Ice House.
Yeah, it's like the second stage.
Yeah.
Yes,
dude.
And that is it's one of my favorite clubs to play.
Are we doing the Ice House Friday? Mm-hmm. Yeah. By the way, folks, we try to do the Ice House whenever I'm in town. March is going to be the shit. We're going to do a gang of them in March. Because I'm home a lot in March. So we're going to have a lot of fucking Ice House shows. We're going to do a lot of full weekends, Friday and Saturdays, whenever we can. But Tommy Buns will be involved in this.
Yeah, man.
Fuck yeah.
Fuck you. Dude, hey,
Ice House is the shit.
Next week, I'm actually recording my new album.
Oh, that's right.
Oh,
and you're going to be doing it at the Comedy Works in Denver, which is one of the greatest clubs in the history of the fucking
there's
known
two
universe.
clubs. I'm doing the South Club.
That's great also.
Yes.
That's awesome too. That's that's a bigger place. They have a balcony.
Yeah, they do. If you are in Denver,
I hid weed there too.
When is it?
December 24th?
Yeah, we hid weed somewhere in that place.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yep. Look, guys.
We're going to find it next time we go
Come
back
to my
there.
show, look for the weed.
And where say the game the
Did I
dates
say
again?
December?
Yeah, you did.
Wow. It's not
Sorry.
December,
Someone's
guys.
high.
It is this month, which is February, right?
February.
And it's a Friday the 24th and Saturday the 25th.
Okay, beautiful.
I'm recording a new album at the Comedy Works South. I tweeted the link. If you go to
Tom Segura, Segura.
And,
Yeah, you got to go.
Come
folks.
out. It'll be fucking so much fun.
If you've never seen Tommy, he's way funnier as a stand-up than he is talking on a podcast. Don't be confused. You go, well, he's kind of monotone. Yeah. He's kind of sexy.
Yeah.
I find his voice sexy.
Yeah.
Hey, you told me. So anyway, folks, 24th, 25th, 26th.
No,
as well?
just 24th, 25th. I mean, I'm there 23rd to 25th, but the recording is the 24th and 25th.
Who's putting out your CD?
Well, that's actually one of the things I'm actually thinking of doing it myself.
Do it yourself. We'll pump the shit out of it up here.
That's what I want to
Folks,
do.
for real, Tommy's hilarious. You know, Tom and I met a long time ago when I was doing the Maxim tour with Charlie Murphy and John Heffron. And what we would do is we'd go to these different places and they would have like a local guy open up for us. Everyone that opened up for us was really funny. It was really good, like local talent, because it was the Maxim Bud Light comedy tour, and they really did a good job of casting the local guys. But when we did Phoenix, Tommy wasn't even local, just somehow or another he got involved in this. And he was one of those guys where he went up and I went, holy shit. I go, this guy's fucking funny. And it was dark and it was really well written and we became besties.
Man. Yeah, we became besties, man.
Ever since then.
That was fun. And that's actually the thing I was telling you is that every time I've opened for you since then, your crowds are always the shit. So that's why I'm totally pleading to the Joe Rogan fans, come out. It's always been, you guys are always amazing audience.
Well, Colorado's my place. Everybody knows that. I fucking love Colorado. If I could convince my fucking crazy wife, eventually I will be back in Colorado.
Colorado's the shit.
That place calls me. I'll be back. That club, Wendy, is awesome. She's my favorite club owner in the history of club owners.
She's the shit.
She is awesome. She owns and runs both of them. She's just a badass woman. Cool as fuck. Real fan of comedy. A real friend to comedy. She has an open mic program that's better than anybody's in the country or anybody's I've ever been involved with ever in my whole time in comedy.
When you do Comedy Works, they have like you'll work with different people through the weekend, right? Like different people in each show, and all their local guys that will open for you are all headliners.
Yeah, they're
great. You have just headliners opening for you.
They're great. They're great.
So the whole show is fucking.
She takes care of guys. She pays them well. Her food is great, especially in South. South, she has a gourmet restaurant there.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. It's fucking phenomenal.
It's really good.
God damn, I love Colorado. It's snowing as fuck there, though. 80 degrees here. Suck it. Suck it.
Yeah.
But snow is awesome when you don't have to go anywhere. Remember those times when you go out your back porch and you just fucking hear nothing?
Yeah.
It's snowing. The way sound just gets absorbed in snow.
Yeah. I love
It's
that
some
snow
great
sometimes.
fucking times.
I just don't
man.
want to live in it. But I do like. I
Yeah.
like visiting snow.
I like visiting it too. I would like to get a house somewhere where it's cold, where I could visit on occasion. And, I just
Yeah.
have to get some more baller money.
Yeah.
But now I'm fucked because it looks like Fear Factor's going to fucking bite it.
What?
Looks
Why?
like it's over. Donkey
Really?
sperm.
I thought it was like some of the best ratings
It was.
NBC had for
Huge
a while.
ratings,
It
huge
just
ratings.
dropped that much down.
Well, there's a bunch of issues. I think one of the issues is, let's be honest, it's a bit lowbrow. And NBC is trying to have quality programming like The Office.
Are you serious?
I think so. Yeah, I think there's issues.
Even if the numbers
they
are
haven't,
great?
yeah, they haven't decided yet. They've got a point, man. I see what you're trying to do. I'm no hating. I love doing it just because I love the guys that I work with. I love David Hurwitz and Matt Kunitz and Rupert and all
That doesn't
all
make
the people
sense at all.
Rupert Thompson, the director. All the people that I worked with were really fucking awesome people. They're really fun to be around. It's like a family. And I miss them, the 5 years that I didn't work with them. And then I'm working with them again for this really short season. It was really fun. But it's not my favorite thing to do. I'm good at it. I've been doing it for a long time. I know how to host a game show, but I prefer doing stand up and working for the UFC and this.
Yeah.
They should move that show to HBO. Have nudity, like you're eating fucking fish from girls' vaginas. And
I think it's over. And the other thing was like I was telling them that the donkey loads were too much. I was like, you can't do this. We can't do this. Like
Yeah.
NBC approved it. And I was like, just because they approved it doesn't mean you should be doing this. Like seriously.
Really, you could see it then.
Yeah. When I'm the voice of reason, when I'm the one who's telling you we're going too far,
That's it. Yeah.
like what is happening here? It's just they got a little crazy. They wanted to have an awesome show. Whatever. It was a fun thing while it lasted, and I honestly believe that these new episodes were better than any of the ones we ever did before.
I enjoyed it. I don't see anything wrong with it, and I think it's silly that NBC wouldn't do that because all their other shows are hurting bad. They suck. That Whitney show just got horrible reviews or ratings.
I watched it the other day. It was not good. But, it's hard. It's hard to do a good sitcom. It's hard to do it right. And, I heard she's a funny stand-up. I've never seen her perform before. But I heard that Chris D'Elia is a funny comic as well. And, he's buddies with Brian. I've never seen him perform as well.
Yeah.
So, how is it that they can have two really funny people and not have a funny show? A lot of times there's just too many cooks in the kitchen. A lot of times they're trying to accomplish something. They're trying to get a vibe going. They're trying to find their footing. They believe in it, though, because they renewed it. They renewed it for another season.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. They're both funny people. They both are funny people.
Well, it takes a while, man. I really enjoyed my time on news radio, but I got a real deep respect for the craft of creating a television show. Yeah. And that's one of the reasons why I never did it again. One of the reasons why I never did it again was, first of all, I knew that the guys that I was working with were incredibly talented, and Paul Sims, the executive producer, was such an interesting and intelligent guy, and his sensibilities were so out there. I knew that after working with him, it was going to be really hard to do another sort of sitcom, like a real mainstream, even if it's like a successful one.
Yeah,
it's hard to do crap.
You realize that how much writing is everything, man.
Everything. It's everything.
You see these shows that are so good, and you're like, holy shit.
Well, I shouldn't say it's everything because good writing with shit delivery and shit comics and shit actors is not good either. But it's a huge part of the problem and a part of the equation, rather. And you need real eccentrics to write. I mean, one of the things that these guys were, none of them were. There's a couple of them that were stand-ups, that were on the staff, but for the most part, they were just really bright, silly guys.
Yeah.
Who knew how to put together something funny. And it's fucking rare. For every Matt Stone and Trey Parker, there's 100 pretenders. At least.
At least. And many more.
And you can get caught on one of those sitcoms where you just you're reading the script and you're like, what the fuck am I doing, man?
Yeah. There's those intangibles too, like a show airs and sometimes it just gets legs. People are drawn to it,
Yeah.
And then sometimes you'll feel like everything's right. Like we got the right scripts are great, we got great actors.
Every now and
then
then.
it airs. People don't respond to it, man.
That's a lot of times it's who's the production company and what kind of pull they have with the network and where they decide to put the show. But I would definitely do another acting gig. I really enjoyed doing that movie with Kevin James, the Zookeeper movie. That was a lot of fun. But it was mostly fun because Kevin and I have been friends since we were really young, and to do a movie, even though it was a silly kids movie,
it was fun.
It's fun. It's fun to act. It was fun to do, the thing with Leslie Bibb and the chick from Talladega Nights. I was like, this is kind of crazy. I'm acting with the girl from Talladega Nights, and I hadn't done any acting in fucking 10 years. So it was weird. That was fun. I would totally do something like that. I would totally do a sitcom or something fun acting again. But for the most part, one of the weirdest things about being a comic is that everybody wants to put you into some acting situation where you're going to do something that's not nearly as funny as your act.
That's true. Yeah.
You
Did
know?
yeah, or you can see it like when you audition.
Yeah.
You ever like punch it up or you change it, you'll add something. And they'll be like, that was really funny. You're like, well, yeah, I kind of have to do this a lot.
Yeah.
You gotta
sometimes
make stuff up.
Sometimes they get mad. You know.
Oh, I got yelled at one time too.
What'd they say?
The guy laughed, and then we did it again, and he was like, "That's just rude, man." And I was like, "What?" He was like, "That's rude," and he meant it was rude that I tagged the line. You know, I made up a line.
Whoa.
And he laughed the first time, and then he was like, "It's really rude. You need to drop that." And I was like,
Whoa.
What?
Fuck him.
He fucked me up so badly. Then we did the third take, and I was like, "Yeah, okay." Like I didn't even move my face. I was
What
so,
a
yeah.
weak bitch.
Yeah, and I was like, "You just laughed at it, man. Like everybody laughed at it." you
That's
know?
100% ego right there.
Yeah. He wasn't even the like he was just a casting guy. He wasn't a director or the producer on it. He was just like
Well, he's trying to
rolling
fuck
camera.
with you then.
Yeah.
You know, whatever it was, saying it's rude. He's an idiot. That was one of the coolest things about news radio is that Paul Sims would let us make up entire scenes. If a scene didn't work, Dave Foley was like the secret producer on the set. He would just like rewrite a scene.
Really?
We would completely do it differently. Dave Foley's a genius. His ability to like see scenes and see jokes and see his sketch background from Kids in the Hall.
Yeah.
He created a lot of sketches. He's a great writer.
Awesome.
You know, he got off track with his life, and he had a lot of hard times. We had him on the podcast once talk about it as a fascinating story of caution, a cautionary tale. Of what could happen if you're involved in a terrible relationship and it goes wrong, and you have a spiteful ex-wife, and the poor guy, man, it's really horrendous.
Yeah.
And that led to all sorts of other issues as well. But as a writer and as a guy who as a comedian, he's a genius.
Just talented guy.
Fucking brilliant. Just a brilliant, really interesting, funny guy. Really
Yeah.
smart guy.
We should get him back on. He was great.
Yeah, I'd love to have him back on to help his comedy because I haven't heard anything about him. Have you heard him?
I saw him driving one day, and that's the last
Yeah.
I saw him. He looks sad driving.
Well, I know that he had some setbacks. He's trying. I mean, he can't go to Canada at all. If he goes to Canada, they'll arrest him now.
That's crazy.
Yeah, he owes like some crazy amount of money. Then he had a show that took off for a little while. He had it got like the pilot got picked up, then it got canceled. So
Oh yeah.
It's
Yeah,
a
I think I
fucking-
saw that. I saw a commercial for it.
it's a hard fucking world, dude.
It is, dude.
The world of trying to create a sitcom is not fun.
No.
And the odds of and there's so many people out there trying to do it. Oh,
Yeah, I've written a couple.
have you?
I've written a couple scripts, pilots, and it's like, I don't know, it's
The other thing is-
it comes naturally. It's brain, you're just pulling your hair out, and then you rewrite it so many times, and then some reason they're like, you need to make some more changes. You're like, I've already written it fucking 40 times.
Well, not only that, by the way, they will never let you create your own show.
Right.
Because if you create your own show, you own the show. And if you own the show, that's fucking billions.
Yeah.
They have that thing locked down.
Yeah.
The only people who can own shows and be showrunners and be executive, those people are already deep in the business.
Yeah.
There's very little room for some new guy who creates his own show. You know, you have to be paired up with some dude who's already production company. They know what's at stake there.
You're
And
not
they
doing your own thing.
Yeah, you can't just come to them independently and say, "Hey, NBC, my name's Tom Segura. Me and my buddy, we wrote a sitcom. I'm going to be the creator and executive producer, and he's going to be the director. Is that cool with you?" Yeah, you guys are creative. Come on in. No way, because that's a money train. They're giving you a free ticket on the money train.
Yeah.
You get like some Roseanne style syndication money or Seinfeld syndication money. They know what's involved in that in a successful show. So they got that situation all locked up. That's one of the reasons why so many of those shows suck. Mm-hmm. They got the same dudes feeding people the same slop. There's like, if you look at like the showrunners of certain like hit shows, there's like 2.5 Men. That dude does like a gang of them. The one that Charlie Sheen was brawling with.
Yeah,
that
Chuck
guy
Lorre.
does like the fucking
He does How I Met Your
Big
Mother,
Bang.
Big Bang.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's a fucking fool.
Mike and Molly.
Mike, that's his too.
Yeah,
he does. Imagine what that guy makes.
Ridiculous
Oh my
money.
God.
Yeah, he's got it locked up.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that dude owns hits, television hits.
Wouldn't you have loved to see the arguments with him and Charlie Sheen on DVD?
Oh.
Wouldn't it be great if somebody filmed them? If somebody on the 2.5 Men set filmed some of the arguments?
I'm sure they have that.
Fuck, I wish I would love to
Intense.
see that.
We just have to wait till
Fucking-
they all
some
die.
egos, man. I think that's the guy who also got. Do you remember Brett Butler? Do you remember her? Mm-hmm. Do you remember when she was a big TV star? She had that show.
Yeah, she had a show.
What was the
I
show?
remember- I don't. But I remember her.
What the fuck was that show?
Yeah.
God damn it!
Was it the Brett Butler show?
No.
It was,
Raging something.
Caroline.
No. fuck, man. Grace Under Fire.
Grace Under- yeah.
Yeah, Grace Under Fire. Well, she was like, she was fucking big time, man. She was the star of a sitcom.
Yeah.
And she apparently just got crazy ego bullshit went through. And she threw a soda in his face and said, if you fuck your wife the same way you write, no wonder why she left you.
Whoa.
Yeah, and that was it. They pulled the plug on that bitch.
And now she's homeless.
Yeah, now she's vanished off the face of the earth. I mean, she was an enormous star, dude.
Yeah.
She was enormous, man. And she was also an enormous star as a stand-up comedian. She was really charismatic.
You seen the homeless picture of her? She
She's
was on the
homeless
interview
now,
the other
right?
day. Yeah,
For real homeless?
Oh
yeah,
my
for real
God.
homeless. They interviewed her, and she looks like
Oh
she
my
hit a wall.
God,
Yes,
dude, pull that up. I want to see this video.
Yeah.
It says the Golden Globe-nominated actress who struggled with drug addiction went broke after a 1993 to 1998 sitcom ended its run on ABC. Oh my God,
What's
she
her name
looks
again?
crazy. Brett Butler, two T's.
Are you serious?
One T in
Yeah.
Butler. Oh my God, the actress, a Golden Globe nominee for a role in the 1993-1998 comedy series, struggled with substance abuse while starring on the show, which was in the top 10 for 2 seasons. The Chuck Lorre created show was canceled in 1998 after she was asked to leave the set because of her drug use. Yeah, she threw a drink in his face. My friend was working on the set. He also worked on one of the shows that I worked on News Radio, and he said, he said in her accent, you fuck your wife, same way you
Grace
write.
Under Fire was one of ABC's biggest hits of the 90s, but whatever happened to the star, Brett Butler? Sadly, we have found out she is living in a homeless shelter, and tonight she tells me what it is like to hit rock bottom in Hollywood.
I almost died like Michael Jackson. I was dying of addiction. I would be in hell.
Brett had it all, a hit show on primetime TV, 2 years in the top 10.
Can you see me walking down the street?
She made millions and lived in a mansion, a tough-talking woman with a wild temper and killing herself with drugs.
Was it
Drugs.
painkillers or alcohol? Your addiction?
Everything but crack and needles, pretty much. I had a variety of things given to me by doctors and other things. And I'm not doing it to be coy, but I'm not going to go through the, what I did. I did it till the wheels came off.
You just go up to your room right now and you don't come back down until you love your brother.
Grace Under Fire was a working-class sitcom done in the same vein as Roseanne and Mad About You, now on DVD. It was produced by funny man Chuck Lorre, creator of 2.5 Men and The Big Bang Theory. It was filmed here on the same studio lot as E.T. at Stage 14, where Christina Applegate's Up All Night is now.
You said you hope you've been forgiven. What would you hope you've been forgiven for?
Making someone's day miserable over the choice of a word in a 22-minute show. A lot of the times I've been an ass and didn't even think I was. Like, I'd call my managers and go, there's a white limo out here for an award show. And they'd say, oh my God, don't get in it. And he should have said, you ungrateful cracker, go get in the car and go to the show. They'll drop you out back.
Because she wanted a black one? Is that what she's trying to say?
Yeah.
She jokes
Some people
about
have weird
now.
things like that.
Yeah.
All these Great White Hope rehabs, the one in Malibu I call muffins, where they have a sous chef and collage class, and I'm going, you're kidding. And some won't give you sugar and coffee and they give you drugs, and other ones, it's bizarre. It's $30,000 a month, and you're lucky when you don't die. And people used to come up and say, I too am a survivor of so-and-so, and I want to go, look, if you don't wear the t-shirt, you'll have more fun.
She left Hollywood for a farm in Georgia where she lived with her 15 pets. But then the money ran out, and one of Hollywood's biggest stars had to live in a homeless shelter. Now Brett is making a comeback, returning to stand-up this weekend in LA's Downtown Comedy Club.
I just want to make a comeback to be Nancy Grace's worst nightmare. I really feel like an old dog, though. It's almost like I was a horse that ran in the Derby once. The kids were coming up and going, are you still doing this? I think it's something to do with me living through it. I don't think about what I survived. I hope I forgive. I hope I'm forgiven. And I'm just really glad that I think things are funny, and there's no end to that.
And Brett has even
Jesus.
more to reveal tomorrow.
Whoa.
She tells me her plans for a big TV comeback. Do not miss that.
That chick creeps me out.
Don't get hooked on drugs, guys.
Those women, she creeps me out, but you know who creeps me out just as much? The lady talking to her.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel like I know anything about her while she's talking. She's pretty. Oh, she's beautiful. She's beautiful. She seems real nice. I don't know a goddamn thing about her. I'm not getting
weird.
anything out of her.
That reminds me of the first time I bought drugs. The first time I ever bought drugs.
Tell me about
Do you remember the first time you ever bought drugs?
bought it from Mary Hart,
you
right?
told me that you had a story.
I met the first time I ever bought drugs, I was in high school. And I went to a small high school. So I was trying to be like, not make a thing to ask about it at first, you know, because you don't want it to get around and like be a.
So you were curious?
Yeah, I wanted to try stuff, but I didn't know who to ask because if you ask like at a small school, you're like, it could blow up real fast. 'Cause
Right.
That's how gossip traveled. So my friend Steve had just transferred from like the big high school, like from a high school with like 5,000 kids. And so it was like a weekend. And I was like, let's get a sack. And I think we had just seen Menace to Society, and we were like, yo, what's up? Like we were trying to totally be like hardcore guys. I'm like pulling the hat to the side, and be like, let's do this, man.
Did you wear your hat to the side?
No, but I think you know, a lot of like throwing swag into shit and just being like, you know, hey, let's get a sack.
You getting
And
your
just,
blackness on? a little
Definitely
bit.
feeling it. 14, like, what's up? Let's
Right.
do this shit. I got your back.
Right.
Making shit up.
A little too white, right?
Yeah, and
So
so
uncomfortable with your existence.
totally. And then he's like, I know the guy. So this like a Saturday night, this like long green, like old school 70s Cadillac pulls up, and they're like, he's like, that's the dude. And this guy rolls the window down. He's like, yo, get in the back. And I was like, all right, cool. We get in the back, thinking like that's where it goes down. And Steve's like, yo, this is White Pete. And I was like, what's up, White Pete? Like, and he was called White Pete because they needed to give him a distinction for his name because he was the only white guy that ran with his crew, right? And he was like, we didn't have driver's licenses, so he was like exactly what we like, at that moment what we wanted to be in a couple years. Like he had like the whole like the oversized white tee and like, you know, gold
Earring.
chain, yeah, and fucking like fade. And he was like, "What's up? I'm White Pete." Like he talked like Snoop Dogg almost.
Oh,
Right. And so we were like, all right. And I thought he was like, so we're going to go get it now. I was like, go get what? Like, I thought we were just doing this in the car. We're going to go get that sack, man. I'm like, oh, okay. So we start driving. We go 30 minutes in a car. We go to the next town over, which is Fort Pierce, which is definitely a shittier place. Right. So we're driving through Fort Pierce, and we go from a main street to like single lane highways. You know, in Florida, there's like,
Oh, yeah.
Right. So we're on a busy, then we go to a single lane that has like canals on each side.
ooh.
Yeah, and we're driving, and then we go from that to a dirt road, and then the dirt road off of that dirt road. Like we're driving down, we're like, this is some forensic file shit. Like we're gonna end up on this
A lot of woods.
yeah, a lot of brush, groves, that kind of shit. And I was like, fuck, man. And at this point, like I'm thinking about like Menace to Society, and I'm like, I want to be in that right now, but I'm feeling like feeling really white. I'm like really scared, and now it's night, and it, you know, it's like because he came over in the evening already, so now it's pitch black outside, and we're on a dirt road off of a dirt road. Like you could scream, there's nobody gonna hear shit. And on the dirt road up a gravel path, I see a light, and the light is from a trailer. So we pull up to the trailer. And we get out, and it's me, Steve, and White Pete. And we knock on the door of the trailer, and this dude opens the door, and he has this black guy that has like 6 dreadlocks. Like, you know, each dreadlock is like a size of like a king-size Snicker bar. He's got 6 Snicker bars coming out of his hair. And White Pete's like, what's up, Pat? And he's like, what's up, White Pete? And they give each other a hug, and I was like, oh, fuck, like, now this really is, like, totally Menace to Society shit, right? So I was like, what's going to happen? But I'm so trying to be cool about it. Like, so trying to be cool about it. And then he's like, these white boys looking for a sack. And he's like, yeah, we can do that. So we go inside. Mind you, we're looking for $20.
Right.
And that for us.
So how far have you driven? How long has it taken?
This is from this point. It's like we're already 30 miles south of the city we started.
Why would
in.
you just say like never mind after 10 miles?
Because
Fucking
I
20
wanted
sack?
that.
Why
to
doesn't
take-
White Pete just sell it to you? Why does he have
Dude.
to take you on the trip to the guy's house? I would.
These are all questions I have, but don't have the balls to ask. Like I'm in my mind, I'm like I'm 14, 15. I'm
Wow,
like,
right.
I'm not saying shit to this dude.
Right.
I'm cool. What's up? Let's get a sack.
Right.
Still trying to be cool. So we go into his trailer, and he's like, all right, we're going to get to do that sack. We'll be back in 10 minutes. And I was like, who'll be back in 10 minutes? And he's like, we will be. You stay here and watch my place. And I was like, what? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Is what I'm thinking. But then I just go like, yeah, cool, totally.
So
Like, I'm
you're
not-
in his trailer.
and he's like, watch it for me. And I'm like, oh, no. Like, I'm feeling like that, like real fear. But I go, yeah, no problem, man. Like, I watch people's houses all the time for them. Like, totally fucking terrified.
Right.
And then he goes, like, you walk in the trailer, you're in the living room, because that's the way a trailer is, right? You walk into it, there's a bedroom to the right. He's like, wait in here. On the bed, he's like, there's a 45 and a 12 gauge. And he goes, anybody comes in my house, you shoot him. And I was like, right. And then he's like, except for my mama. My mama comes home, don't shoot her. And I was like, got it. And except I kept trying to be cool about it. I was like, yeah, like, that's what's up. I know what you're saying, man. Go get that sack. Totally, like, trying to be like, he was like, all right. They walk out. They leave me in his trailer with 2 guns and a fucking message to shoot everybody but his mother. And I just sit there and I watch the MTV Video Music Awards. And the whole time, like, every show that comes, I'm rocking. And I'm actually hoping that it's an intruder versus his mom, because I feel like if it's his mom,
she might accidentally shoot her.
Or how is she going to react to my explanation? Like, Pat just told me to wait here. Well, he's getting some weed for me, but I'm supposed to shoot everybody but you. Are you cool with that? And she's like, yeah, it happens all the time. Like, how are you going to react to this? So I'm having a panic attack. They come back. We get back in with White Pete. He drives us back, and I'm sitting there. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? That was the worst shit ever. Like, I'm fucking terrified. And he's like, yeah. Him and Pat, Steve and Pat became like best friends. So they became like super close. Like, that was like his guy. He would go to, and I'd be like, no, dude, I don't want to hang out with Pat at all. And like 6 months later, when Steve got his license, we went. He was like, you want to get some weed today? I was like, yeah. So where we go? We go to Fort Pierce. Pull up to Pat's, and I'm like, God damn it! And like,
so you remembered how to get there?
He did. Steve had started going there all the time.
Oh my God!
We pull up to his trailer this time. He gets out now. And this time, like, well, they're friends, so this is probably gonna be a much quicker thing. He comes out, he jumps in the back, and he's like, all right, let's roll. And I was like, no, like, we're gonna fucking look for a sack again? Like, I thought you just have this shit, man. Like, so this time we went to this, but this is the thing. Pat scared the shit out of me the first time. But that second time, he saved our life, actually. Because we went from his trailer the second time, where he jumped in the back, went to Avenue D, which is the fucking shitty street in Fort Pierce. Like, if you're going to, like, every city, you have, like, I don't know, whatever city you're in, they're like, that's, like, have you ever been to a street where you see open drug dealing, where there's not even some type of facade?
Los Angeles.
Right, but you've been down a street where there's no pretense about it. There's just, like,
Los Angeles.
Which part of it?
We were filming Fear Factor. We were actually filming the Playboy Playmate edition of Fear Factor.
Downtown area?
And we were watching people sell drugs, smoke crack right there. Right, we were in a crane, and we're like, I go, look, they're smoking crack. And the girls were like, oh my God, they are smoking crack.
No, and like
this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
No one's protecting us. We're up here in a crane.
That was exactly like this, where we pulled up in Steve's car, and the windows come down, and we just get surrounded. Like, the car got surrounded by 6 guys. And they reach in their jackets, and they go this one guy goes, y'all look familiar. And this other guy goes, yeah, y'all look real familiar. Y'all ever been here before? And when somebody says that, you look familiar, have you been here before? How would you answer that? I'd just say,
nope.
Nope. Right. And exactly at that moment, I go, no. And Steve at the exact same moment goes, yep. Yes.
Oh, I hate that shit.
Oh, man. And then they're like, see, I told you, man. Y'all look like them white boys that have been snatching bags around here. I was like, oh, fuck. Like, you look like the white boys that have been taking bags from guys.
Wow.
I'm like, no, dude, that's not us. And Steve's like, but we have been here before. I'm like, will you shut the fuck up? Pat is in the back, like, hold on. And he gets out and, like, walks over, talks to all of them like like he's the ambassador.
Right.
And, like, I don't know what fucking, like, I own these guys. They're with me.
Right.
Like, fucking, and they totally let us go. But if without him, we would have been fucked.
What's that noise, Brian?
What is that noise?
Somebody's phone.
That's not mine.
It's me. Pat
is still out. I don't know what happened to Pat. And White Pete, who knows what happened to
Not
White
good
Pete.
things.
Probably not good things, man.
You should Facebook
Can you Facebook Pat? But Pat will
was-
be the next person that makes up a fake Twitter account.
That's a real I had real fear. You
Oh,
know,
yeah.
when you're like,
For a good fucking reason.
oh, like when you feel your stomach drop and you're like, what's going to happen right now? Oh, my God.
Yeah, that's terrible shit, man. When
Yeah.
I was a kid, when I was in high school, we used to go to Dorchester to eat, like late at night. I was hanging out with this one kid. I lived in Jamaica Plain before I went to high school, and Jamaica Plain was like a real shifty neighborhood. It was kind of creepy.
Yeah.
And it bordered some really creepy places. And I became friends with a couple of those kids, and I stayed in touch with them. And then when I went to high school, I went to visit them a couple times before I realized it was really fucking dangerous.
Yeah.
They were going to a bad high school, man. Their high school situation, my high school situation was very different.
Yeah.
We went to the same middle school together, and middle school was kind of okay because kids were young. They hadn't gotten into dangerous shit yet. And, this is 1980.
Yeah.
This is early. It was just like when the Sugar Hill Gang would just come out. Hip hop, a hip it to the hip it, a hip hop. That was the first rap music, and it was very friendly in retrospect. And things changed radically, though. When I left, I went to Newton, which is like nice suburbs, and I lived across the street from the river, and there was like woods near me and shit like that.
Yeah.
And they went to the inner city high school, and they had some fucking tough times, man. I watched those dudes. They were basically involved in just crime was everywhere around them.
Yeah.
It was nuts, man. Inner city shit is just no fun at all.
I know.
I got lucky that my parents moved to a nicer place. And we anyway, we would go to these places like late at night when I was hanging out with them. We'd hang out with some of their friends, and we'd go to like Dorchester at like 2:00 in the morning to eat. And first of all, I couldn't believe who the fuck let me wander around at 14 years old.
Yeah.
But we were in some place where there was bulletproof glass. They would sell you food, but it was through bulletproof glass. It was sandwiches.
Yeah.
And there was like a slot where you would slide the food under.
Yeah.
And it was like the worst fucking neighborhood you could possibly be in, outside of Beirut.
Yeah.
We're hanging out there, and some guy goes, "I told you I paid for this shit, motherfucker!" Like the size, "I already paid for this shit." And they were like, let him go.
Yeah.
And like you'd see the guy like bluffed his way out of a free sandwich, and he would walk off, and he was eating it like right at the front door, like blocking the door like a dog. Like he got far enough, it was away from danger, and he was just with no regard for how it looked. He was just eating it, blocking the doorway, eating this sandwich.
Yeah.
And then I was like,
There's people don't know like how bad some neighborhoods are in like Hollywood. Like Sunset between like Fairfax and Crescent Heights used to be like a trap.
Yeah.
And like I remember I worked at a restaurant there, and one night, man, two weekends in a row. First weekend someone got shot in the head on the steps into Denny's, which was like a block. And then the next weekend somebody came in, went into the kitchen, took scissors, started stabbing people with scissors, then stabbing themselves. But it was But it was also like a criminal hangout because of Denny's.
Denny's is a criminal hangout?
I'm saying it's open all night. So like that's where late night people who are up all night could go and hang out. So it became like they just shut it down because they're like, everybody who's in here is like a pimp, hustler, drug dealer, and they're murdering people weekend after weekend. So they just shut that shit down. But that was a dangerous area, man.
Hollywood is so shitty.
Shitty.
People who come to Hollywood who think that they're going to come, we're going to go see Glamorous.
I almost killed a guy yesterday coming home from the doctor. I was probably going 45, 50 miles an hour, and out of nowhere, the car next to me just slams on his brakes. I'm like, what the fuck? So I slammed on my brakes, even though I had no idea why he was slamming on his brakes type thing, because I couldn't see over his car. And I slammed on brakes and just missed this old man dressed up as a woman. And he was just crossing the street, like in the middle of the street, jaywalking, and just screaming at us. Like you could just tell he was fucking crazy. He had like lipstick all around his whole entire face. Dude, it was just an old man dressed up as a
Brett
woman.
Butler's co-star from Grace Under Fire. Still pissed that bitch had to scream and get the show canceled.
I gotta fucking bounce. I gotta go do a show.
Go bounce. Brea Improv, folks, tonight. If you are around, if you're anywhere near Brea, there's an 8 p.m. show tonight. Brea Improv. Tommy Segura, all up in this. But you're headlining though, right?
Well, it's a Valentine's show.
You and your wife?
Me and my wife. Yeah.
Damn. So it starts when you get there. If you're late, don't worry about it. You won't be late though. You can leave here. I'll give you directions.
Thank you. This weekend I'll be at the Orlando Improv. So if you're in
Orlando, Florida,
I'll be in the
you
Orlando
dirty
Improv.
freaks, and you gotta go down and support Tommy when he is taping his new CD.
Thank you.
Will be in Denver at the Comedy Works South on February 24th and 25th. It's a great fucking club. Tell Wendy I said what's up.
Well, and also please check out the podcast I've done with Brian for the last few years.
Yes, it's called Your Mom's House. It's available on iTunes.
We're going to do the first episode without our beloved Brian tomorrow. And the website is yourmomshousepodcast.com.
Your Mom's House podcast with his lovely and talented wife,
Lovely and
Christina
talented
Basinski. Very, very
Basinski.
funny young lady. And she'll be on the show tonight as well. That's the Bray Improv, 9 p.m. And of course, not next weekend, but whatever the fuck weekend it is. It is next weekend? It's not this coming weekend, but the next one. 24th and the 25th, Denver. Get on that shit.
Thank you.
Fire up. Death Squad in support. Tom Segura. You are the fucking man. I love you, buddy.
Sir. Love
You're
you, man.
awesome.
Thanks for having me.
Tell Pat Pat I said, what's up?
What's up, Pat?
Get
Pat?
that sack. Get
Gonna
that
get a
sack.
sack, man.
Thank you to the Fleshlight for sponsoring our podcast from the beginning, from the very dark days of laptops and not knowing what the fuck we're doing, as if we didn't start off today on the wrong channel. Hey, we got a little
happens,
slippery.
man. It
Listen, this is real. There's not a lot of production value, but it's free. Okay, thanks to everybody that's tuning into this fucking thing. Before we even get to sponsors, it's one of the coolest things in the world to have such an awesome fan base. To have so many cool fucking people, to connect with so many people, to get all these messages from you guys like, hey man, this is what I've been looking for my whole life. This show's changing my life. This show changes the way I look at things. You guys change the way we look at things too. From Twitter, from all the cool links that I get sent, to the amount of support that we get from our shows. It to me is the coolest thing that I've ever done in my life is this
fans,
podcast.
man. You got the best fans. For sure.
I'm lucky. I'm
Amazing
very
fans.
fortunate. We put out the right vibe and people respond,
That's
and we put out this show. It's real. It's, you know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
like there's no bullshit, no pretense. It is what it is. It's 100% free, and we love all you freaks. And we just want to let you know that this is not something I take for granted. I've done a lot of shit in my career. This is the thing I'm the most proud of, for sure. It's you guys. I'm most proud of the whole thing, everything behind it, all the moment. I don't want to say movement, all the momentum behind it, all the shows.
Yeah,
And
it's awesome.
It's a humbling experience, man. When I do something like the Chicago Theater and there's 3,200 people and everyone's screaming and cheering, it's really the greatest,
Jesus.
one of the greatest experiences of my life.
Jesus Christ.
And we're gonna keep going, bitch. We ain't going nowhere. Come see me in. Go to JoeRogan.net. I don't even know where the fuck I'm going.
Friday, we're at the Ice House. Go to Ice House Comedy.
Friday,
Lounge.
we're at the Ice House. And Friday, by the way, it's going to be it's a very intimate show, and it will sell out. We do them every week. There's only 85 seats, and it's fucking awesome. It's
And
going to be
we might have
Ryan Redband. Who's going?
Well, I don't know the full
Always
lineup
guest
yet, but we have
stars.
DJ Dog Pound, I think, is going to do it, who does all
Who's
the
that?
Tim and Eric stuff. And
Oh, he's
Oh,
funny,
really?
dude.
Oh,
He's
beautiful.
really
And you're around
hilarious.
this Friday as well?
I'm in Orlando.
You're in Orlando. Okay.
Orlando Improv.
That's it, you dirty freaks. Thanks to Fleshlight. Go to JoeRogan.net. Click on the link for the Fleshlight. Enter in the code name Rogan. And then go fuck yourself. Or go fuck it yourself. Thank you to Onnit.com, ONNIT, makers of Alpha Brain, New Mood, Shroom Tech Sport, and Shroom Tech Immune, all powerful cognitive enhancing supplements, immune system supplements, and endurance supplements. All good shit, all natural, all good for you, all explained at Onnit.com, ONNIT. Go to JoeRogan.net, click on the Alpha Brain link, enter in the code name Rogan, and you will get 10% off your first order. I'm going to have that changed for all your orders, all right? So you can always get a nice little discount, all right, you fucking freaks. You know I love you. God damn it.
that sack, man.
That's it. Smoke that sack. And I'll see you guys soon. Check out UFC tomorrow night. I won't be there, but it's going to be live from somewhere cool. Omaha, Nebraska? Oh, Jake Ellenberger. He's from Omaha. And Diego Sanchez. And I believe that's on FX. All right. I love you, freaks.